Okay. Last time we left off with you all returning to the witch's hut after meeting with the alligator folk chieftain. After meeting with her and giving her the book for a brief moment, she agreed to teach Josephus the secrets of how to transfer a soul. However, while not completely lying, also not being completely truthful, the conjuration, not technically conjuration, transmutation? I don't really know, who cares? Semantics. Did teach Josephus indirectly how to transfer a soul, but not of another creature, but of yourself. In the process of giving her the book, she used the knowledge within to become a lich. And due to the ways of the land you're in, and your really lack of knowledge on what she was doing to begin with, you allowed her to do so. And with her not being aggressive in any way, you let her continue to be. And in exchange, she gave you knowledge of where the true owner of, or past owner of this tome is. Ancient ruins that are quickly sinking after centuries, deep within the swamps of Umbra. And that is where you now headed. That is where we pick up, with you all in Grapple's boat, making your way to this new area. Also, Storm, are you talking?
No, I'm not.
Okay, your mic was just permanently on. There was no sound. I was just very curious.
Oh.
I was like, why is it doing that?
Just staring off into the distance.
Menacingly.
Questioning himself, the same as the rest of us, of why we allowed a lich to live.
There.
Because technically she hasn't broken any laws.
None
She's
that you're
broken
aware
the
of.
natural laws.
I think we've gone far past those particular laws at this point. Looks over at Josephus. Do you feel like trying to arrest
Josephus... Nah, I'll just eat him.
What natural law did Josephus change and go against?
I didn't go
Undead.
against any natural law. I just eat stuff. I eat the bones. It's fully natural. I can't do his voice. I can't fucking do it. I'm trying my best. This is what happens tonight when you don't show up on time.
I'm Big Joe.
I'm Big Joe. I just eat bones and stuff. You know, it's natural. I'm a druid.
My bones for the bone throne. I mean bones too.
It's just my bones for the bones.
Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. Milk for the cornflakes.
What are cornflakes?
So he
Corn as in the god of slaughter corn.
He heard me
Khorne.
He heard me talking
It's a play on words.
bad about his voice, and now he's here. Hello.
Wait, you talk shit about my voice?
Technically, I was talking.
He was
about my
talking
own voice, but
about how he was talking about basically how hard it is to do your voice.
how I can't do it, basically. it came out something like this. It's really not right, but you know, it's what I got.
I just had to chime in with a little bit of something like this.
I haven't managed to practice, so I don't know if I'm gonna do it right. It is right.
Yeah, something like this. I can't really do
You
it
got-
right, but
you-
something like this.
You gotta be whiny, like you're just constantly miserable about something. And there you go. There it is. Okay.
So you gotta be a-
Yeah, I really hate life right now. It's just like it's so sucky, but you know, it's like I like both.
There you go.
So you just have to be a millennial.
So I just have to be myself.
Fucking called out an entire generation.
Fuck off! I'm 30 and I'm a millennial.
We're all millennials.
Yeah, I get it.
think-
Trust me, I'm one of you. I'm 30 and a millennial too. That's why I could call us out like that.
Boomer.
I don't even know what the fuck is
Boomers.
going on with generations
People
anymore.
were bitching about the millennials. It's never been the millennials that's been the problem. It's always been the Zoomers.
Yeah, this is fucking. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Back to D&D.
Back to D&D.
Hello. Yes, I'm here. I'm in the water.
Okay, you in the water now? Cool.
If I could control myself.
I don't know. Game.
There we go.
Non
You don't have
kicks
Usually
the
I
owl into the
can't.
water.
you don't have 15 raptors on top of you this time, so it should be far easier.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't have
that's
15 raptors yet.
Right. That's
Josephus was getting gangbanged by raptors last episode.
No,
Oh,
I
he
was
summoned his
gangbanging
minions.
with raptors.
So we're going to quote the sunken city, correct?
Ruins temple. It's more of a temple, technically. It's not really a city.
But it's
so yes.
it's still sunken and underwater.
It's getting that way, I'm assuming.
Good thing I
We're
have
out-
1 hour long.
We're in a swamp.
underwater
Everything's
breathing.
underwater.
Out of character. No, it's currently in the process.
Got it.
Think
In-
of the
in
the,
character,
the,
you
the
don't
sunken
really know.
city World of Warcraft raid or dungeon, whatever it is.
An entire generation of people just cried out in anger at you.
Either way, I'm gonna start preparing the crossbow I was given rather than my musket, just in case.
But yeah,
Hell, I never sold the fucking dragon bones.
you were in a town and y'all just didn't do it. You kind of just assumed there was
When
nothing
did
in
we
the
go to
town.
a
That village is a town.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the
They
town.
use coin there. You've been paying with coin.
I thought about it and did nothing with it, we'll put it that way.
I mean, there's still time. You could still do it. You're just heading in a different direction. It's all up to you. I don't care. It's whatever you all want to do.
So
I
if we're
don't think
going to
more coin's gonna help us beat this thing.
You just gotta man up and put our big boy pants on.
for
There,
now,
there is
kill it.
more than coin, though. I hope you know that. Like, there's an entire village.
I'd imagine they might have something special.
They have skills. Like craftsman skill.
To the apothecary so we can all get enlarged person potions.
The
Yeah,
leader is
I
a
want
shaman,
haste.
by the way.
It depends on how long we want to wait, because anything that's going to be made is going to take a couple days.
Fair enough.
Just all
this
get
creature's
enlarged and haste potions.
Centuries old. I think we got time.
I'm just letting you know, the option's there if you wish to take it.
I mean, Enforcer is probably going to just bring it up while we're in the boat. Just be like, it's probably a better thing that I don't have all of this strapped to me while we're fighting some sort of ancient evil.
Honestly,
We
Enforcer,
heading back
it's
to-
kind of a
We're
flex.
heading to the sunken.
A flex. I don't understand how exercise has anything to do with this.
Like, you just come striding into the Lich's domain, strapped with dragon bones. Like, you haven't turned it into anything. It's just like, yeah, I killed a dragon on the way in here. What are you gonna do about it?
I think by flex he means a power move.
A power move? I do not understand.
Asserting dominance.
Dominance.
Isn't that something that's
That
usually
would.
common amongst wild animals?
Yes. Congratulations, you figured it out. We're all wild animals.
It's common amongst all intelligent beings and non-intelligent beings.
Do you believe that asserting dominance over an undead creature would be at all effective?
Yes.
Yes.
Very slightly.
If Enforcer could squint suspiciously.
And Zahn holds up his his thumb and his pointer finger, and like there is a hair like distance between the two fingers. He's like very slightly.
Chat, is the audio good for you all? Can you all hear everything just fine?
On the other note, it would probably be a bad idea to bring this in there for a fight, because they might get broken and lose value.
I know I might be low because I'm talking low because I have to.
Or he could resurrect it on your body.
I do not like this eventuality.
Don't think that's possible. There's not enough there. We didn't take enough of the body to do that.
The spell's kind
You
of
want to
like
risk it with an ancient necromancer?
he like pulls a book out and puts glasses on. There's no like actual lenses in the glasses. I don't know. The spell's kind of wishy-washy about how many bones you actually need.
Oh, you know how to read that now?
Oh, it's blank. He just holds up his notebook and it's a blank page.
It's blank.
So are we on the way to the temple, or are we on the way back from the witch's hut right now?
Technically, they're both in the same direction, so it's like literally we can stop off at the Gatorfolk village and then head over to the other side of the freaking swamp.
Oh, I thought there was another village we could go to or something like that, or a town or something.
There's two towns that you know of. There's the village that you've been to twice, and then there's the town you originated in. If you're going to the original town, that's way out of the way. That's actually.
Might as well just head back to the village, see if they have anything we can buy there.
It would probably be a good idea to be fully stocked. Perhaps they have some apothecary there that could brew health potions for us.
I like the idea of potions.
I highly doubt there's a gunsmith, but I'm willing to look.
I don't know. Working on guns
Might
seems
have
like the most culturally appropriate thing in that village.
I mean, honestly, in swamps there's a lot of flint. There's probably some saltpeter around here somewhere, and some other stuff that you need to make gunpowder, or at least raw black powder.
Powder's not what I was worried about.
Enforcer has the worst just image in his mind of just the entire village of Gator folk shooting guns in the air. Yeehaw! I'm going to hell for that one. Moving along.
Hatfields and the McCoys.
I don't think I like the characterization you were having about those country people like that.
No, he's about right.
Yeah, no, he's...
Yeah, he's about right. As one of those country bumpkins, yeah, he's about right.
I mean, I can't deny the characterization is false. I mean, it's completely true. It's just how he presented it.
Just because it's true doesn't mean it's not offensive.
Yeah, sure, I suppose.
You're not the stereotype if you're being responsible with the guns. At least you're not just shooting them up into the air at parties and celebrations and shit.
Listen, I'm a redneck
No, never.
potato land, okay?
Okay, so you all going back to the town then? To the village? To Gator folk?
Yep. I would like to, just to offload the
Yes.
sheer amount of crap I'm carrying.
No. Okay. No. I copied you. I didn't
What?
need to. Awesome.
Well, we'll see what everyone else thinks here.
I'm down to go.
I also wish to go back. Oh, we're here! Yes!
Wow, speak of the devil and it shall happen.
I'm gonna go wrestle a gator.
Wow, it's
Oh dear
almost like
God.
time is relative in a D&D world.
Enforcer's gonna take his heavy ass and try and find a shop.
Are we just shrugging off the
Don't
fact
think-
that Josephus ran off yelling he was going to wrestle a gator?
Of all the things Josephus has said, that's the one that caught your attention?
I've asked this question every time.
Even Enforcer is starting to get a little inured to it.
Okay, so Josephus, you run off to the tavern area, and the rest of you are doing what?
I'm going to be looking for a shop where I can offload the bones and scales.
I don't think we're going to find one of those here. At least not for what we can turn them into and weapons and all that.
Okay, so are you just looking
Like, that
to
needs
just...
blacksmithing and all that.
Are you just looking to sell them off, or are you looking to try and get them made into stuff? And by stuff, I mean like weapons or armor or anything like that.
Thing is like, if we're going to have them turned into anything, that's going to be a time consumption, because it's going to take them a while to get dragon scales and bones fixed up into something, especially if it's a high-class thing.
We just asked if they have some storage we can borrow.
That's also an option. You could do that. So if you want to just sell them off, you can do that. They take them. Look at the huts. They use bones. Big ones.
I think the first thing I'd be trying to do is trying to find a place I could possibly use them as trade before just selling them off. Because
The trade. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I was kind of like taking and selling them off as also as trading, but yeah.
Remember whose bones those are. Those are my bones.
then you may come along, but I need to get them off of my person. So
I mean, if my shell apartment was canon, we could just put them in there.
just like have like a shell of holding, essentially. Just
Not impossible.
Basically,
you just
that'd
have
be-
to find a wizard to do it. But yeah, so
I pull into my shell. You see, like, peer through a hole. You see, like zoomed in, like a tiny little like apartment with me in a bathrobe. It's like, sup.
Permanent casting of Magnificent Mansion inside the shell.
Yeah, pretty
terrifying.
much.
again,
It'd be
not
awesome,
impossible,
man.
Just find a wizard to do it.
But yeah, so I guess we're looking for what would be the equivalent of a bazaar, possibly an apothecary / blacksmith, etc., etc.
Blacksmith would be the only thing you couldn't really find here because they don't really use metal.
Fair enough.
Everything else is pretty much it.
Yeah, they probably, like, fishing hooks is probably made out of bone. They probably don't use metal tools. They probably use bone tools or stuff like that, or like flint tools and stuff like that. So
I mean, just look at the map. The thing you're right next to is all made out of bone and wood. So that's what they use, bone and wood.
It's a city of druids.
City of survivalists.
Druids use metal because metal is of the earth.
Technically they don't, but I allow it.
Fair enough.
What do you mean they don't?
They don't. It's in the rulebook. They don't wear metal. Or use metal.
Yeah,
You can't wear metal armor.
Yeah.
How?
They don't actually use metal. They use stone,
Listen.
but not metal.
This is a debate we've had for
It
years.
really is. I allow it because I use that.
I wonder why that is.
It's because they don't use stuff that has been.
Because it's not natural metal at that point. It's been refined and changed.
Yeah, that is why. That's why.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
They can just have a plate of just raw metal ore. They wouldn't want it as armor anyway, but they could use that.
Alright, so I guess Zahn and I are going through the bazaar. I'm personally looking for an apothecary just because potions seem like a good thing to invest in.
All right, cool. You two go through a few of the buildings. You find what is kind of a apothecary-esque building. There is one of the gator folk who is kind of adorned in more robish clothings, decorated with bone earrings and various tattoos along the shelf. So not really bottles, they look more like bits of bamboo weeds that have been hollowed out and are used as kind of these makeshift bottles, as they don't really have a way to make glass. There are a few that have
Like
been
old old-
scavenged.
Japanese canteens.
But you managed to find a place and a person who is producing potions and such. And you also find a individual who is in the process of making various equipment out of mostly found materials, bones, wood, weeds, ropes, all that kind of stuff. Leathers.
These places look promising, do they not, Zon?
These seem like more basic stuff. I don't think we're going to find any craftsmen that are going to be able to pull out the magical potential of dragon bone here. But the alchemists and apothecaries look promising. More likely it's going to be herbal remedies that are similar to health potions rather than the ones we're used to.
I wouldn't put it quite out of the park yet, but we can always just have a look.
Look can never hurt nobody.
Enforcer will nod and he will walk into the apothecary.
Okay, so you go into the apothecary. Joseph, what you doing? What you doing, Joseph? Josephus?
You gotta call me out when I'm having my mouth full.
Sure did. It's the way it always
Excuse me.
is.
Isn't that always with Josephus?
I was gonna say, it's
No,
pretty
my-
accurate.
Anyways, Josephus gonna ride Ribbit up to the counter, pull out the dragon bone femur he's got, and slam it on the table. Today we eat dragon!
You pull out this mass of femur bone, almost out of nowhere, slam it on the table, and
Was on his back, probably standing up like another of his height behind him, like a giant
Multiple.
flagpole attached to his back.
And at this time, the tavern area is pretty fairly packed. Multiple of the occupants kind of turn around and look at you. The individual who is usually behind this little makeshift counter turns around and look at you. Apologies, I can't really do the voice because of, my current
Yeah,
situations.
I understand.
It's fine. It's fine.
Takes notice of you. God, it's so hard to do it without doing the voice, it really is. Because it's so loud and boisterous.
Mhm.
It's like a whole different character at this point. Apologies. Anyway, they look at you. Oh, so you brought another bone for me to use. Yeah, it
Yes.
just doesn't work the same. I hate it.
This is a bone of Blight himself.
Bone of Blight.
Bone of Blight the dragon.
Bone of Blight the dragon. That'll make good eating today.
They think it right that the whole village should share in this bounty.
You stay right there.
Stand right here. Now he's gonna stand on Ribbit.
Yes, I like that idea. A village feast. He begins calling around the others, telling them to go out through the village and gather as many people as they can and bring as much food as they can.
Enforcer feels a disturbance in the force.
Oh gosh.
In the
Frickin' Josephus has just started the Drake Fallen Festival.
As you two are currently shopping and looking around and whatnot, you see a few of the individuals just scurrying around from building to building, just mentioning a big feast is going to be had today. And they begin all pulling out various foods and spices and whatnot. You just see that kind of happening around you. Don't know why.
Enforcer, I'm surprised it took this long for them to have a feast. I mean, didn't we report Blight being dead a day or two ago?
It sometimes takes time to organize such things. You have to go and get materials. You have to make sure that everyone knows to be there. Used to have some feasts during particular holidays for the gods. It takes quite a bit of preparation. Sometimes it takes up to 3 weeks in advance to be fully prepared.
Yeah, but that's for large cities and large towns. This village is not very big.
I also don't particularly see any farms around, do you?
No.
And the individual who's behind the kennel takes the bone, kind of looks at it. Going to need a bigger pot.
That moment when you wish you could cast enlarge on an object.
Oh, speaking of which, I gotta link a video to you guys that describes this situation perfectly.
They snap
1 second.
the claws. I got it. They reach up behind them, kind of above them, and above them is mounted like this massive bony skull of some large aquatic creature.
Oh, fuck yeah!
They pull it down,
Before we do
flip
that,
it.
can you pull this video up on Twitch and display it for everybody, because this is kind of the vibe we're getting right now.
Why did you?
Don't think he can, because I think that's technically copyrighted.
Probably copyrighted. Let me see. I'm
Okay.
gonna put it up on my phone.
Everybody take a look and watch it real quick.
Probably. More than likely can.
Basically, the whole feasting on the remains of a sentient being and
Oh, is it a
all that.
Is it like advertisement kind of?
It's an official
No,
trailer.
it's
Trailer. That's what
It's
I
an
meant.
official trailer.
Well, that's what I meant by
Yeah.
advertisement. That's what trailers are.
Yeah.
Advertisements. But yeah.
Basically, in
probably
Warhammer,
could,
the ogre
but there's
kingdoms
probably
are
music I couldn't play, so do it safe and sound.
they're man eaters. So in Warhammer, the ogres are man eaters, so they eat sentient beings. So this is basically the same thing.
Is
They're
anything
having a big
repeating
feast.
for anyone else?
What's that?
Oh wait, I'm so stupid.
You had stream open, didn't you?
I just pulled the stream up. I was like, why is everything repeating?
I have a feeling you did. But yeah, so the individual pulls the skull down, flips it over, and puts it on this large grill behind them, fills it up with copious amounts of water and alcohols. There, the perfect pot for a dragon. They take the bone after the water alcohol mixture is begin to boil, and they've added spices and other bits to it, fruits and vegetables. They throw the bone in, and it begins to slowly cook and simmer. Zon and Elvin, you two do anything?
I'm
No,
over
no,
with
I meant-
Enforcer.
Not Zon. Fucking
Excel.
Excel. Yes,
Excel.
Excel. I think
Yeah, you want
I
to
was
drink
looking at your
Excel?
picture when I said it.
Sure.
It seems like a time to get drunk.
Yes.
I mean, we killed a dragon.
We are here to drink your beer and steal your rum at the point of a gun. Your alcohol to us will fall, 'cause we are here to drink your beer.
And DMC 8.
Okay, then. That sounds like a plan. I have a gun. Kidding. Anyway. Oh,
It's
just
fair use, it's less than 15 seconds.
That's not actually a thing.
Yeah, they changed that up a while ago.
That's not actually a thing. You can't play anything at all. I don't think it ever was a thing, to be honest with you.
Fellas, I think I accidentally started a feast.
What did you say?
I said we should all eat a dragon. They agreed.
I would say that you did start a feast, yes.
Worst outcomes than this.
This
And
could,
few better.
that's it. This could still turn into something fun.
Oh no, I'm very excited for it.
You think there'll be a fighting pit?
God, I hope. Gods, I hope. I'll be personally offended if there isn't.
All right. So what do you want to get? What do you want to drink, Exile?
Whatever's fine.
Fighting pit. Who? Two crocodiles saying who can death roll the other, the better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get alcohol and get drunk.
Alright.
I'm just accepting of all of this right now.
You two walk up, get your drinks. It's nothing fancy. It's like just kind of bitter booze.
This is probably what he went through when he was adventuring before he was raising me. Anyway, good drinks with good people. And Josephus.
I appreciate that comment.
You resemble that comment.
No, I appreciate it.
I said
And
you
resemble. And resemble it.
Well, I figured you would want to be held separately from the others.
Always.
Okay, so you three drink and wait for the feast to begin. Whenever that may happen. Who knows? And you two, Zahn and Enforcer, which of the shops do you go to first?
I went into the Apothecary because I want to see what we can do with potions first.
Okay, so you go into the
I
Apothecary.
followed.
Alright, you both go into the Apothecary. And the individual is standing there, welcomes you in as you enter. You haven't really met this individual, but they seem to have noticed you around as you're really very noticeable and stick out.
Very easy to spot. I shine when the sun is on me. I'm just like, duh!
I'm a giant fucking turtle.
Sadly, you're probably the person that sticks out the least in this group.
You stick in the most. The shiny metal man, not so much.
They look over you and just be like, some sort of skin condition. Look over at me. What the
Cousin.
fuck is that?
Huh, metal cousin. Alright, anyway. Okay, so. What are you looking for exactly? Are you looking to turn the bones into potions, or are you looking just to buy potions, or poisons, whatever it is?
I was gonna peruse and see what they had readily available first.
Okay. As you peruse, window shop basically. They're all potions here. There's some minor, basic poisons as well. The potions they have are not the highest in quality, but they are useful nonetheless. They have the most basic healing potions. They have greater healing potions. They even have potions of water breathing, all that kind of stuff. Basically, just ask. We're not let you know if they have it.
I have two questions.
Yes.
Are they drinkable?
Yeah, the potions.
Do they heal?
Some do.
Good enough.
Okay.
That's all we need is, can we choke them down and do they heal us?
So, how many of the greater healing potions do they have?
How many? Of the greater, not a terrible lot. They have about 3 or so, maybe 4.
Better than none. Now we just need to figure out how valuable these bones are to them.
We do have gold, don't we?
I don't have any on me. Elbon and them have most of the gold, I believe.
I believe
I have some.
in total, if we're talking for all of you, you should have a grand total of, just from the dragon, of 1,000. Is that right?
Yep. So I've got 212 on me right now, I think. Plus some other stuff.
I basically used up my portion making platinum rings for myself and Josephus. Oh, that's another thing you missed.
Oh yeah, they got married. No, not really.
Yeah, we did.
What did you make platinum rings for?
A spell that I can do to help protect Josephus.
The guy who gets out of character, the guy who gets frickin' a full extra health bar needs more protection.
Yes, I want out of character. I want to make a kaiju out of this fucking druid. Yay!
And learn how to cast Enlarged Person yourself, so he can have 2 instances of the spell on him.
Doesn't work that way.
Stack.
Doesn't
Sadly.
stack.
Doesn't stack. Spells
But
really
I can,
stack.
but I can give him aid and warding bond because neither of them are concentration.
Tis true.
Wait, could you have an Enlarged Person and a Potion of Enlargement or something on
No,
the same
'cause
time?
It does the same
Nah.
thing. It's basically the same spell.
Yeah,
of
basically-
enlargement is the spell, basically, I believe.
Yeah, rules is written basically any spells, spell abilities that do the same thing. Only the higher level one takes effect.
Unless stated otherwise.
So, but what if it was like subclass ability
Subclass ability, unless it's the spell, it would.
or racial ability?
And unless it's the spell, okay, so basically, if it is just 2 different variations of the same spell, even if it is coming from different sources, they don't stack. Unless they do, they do. The only time
Because I know
things that wouldn't stack ever is temp HP.
because I know there's a a fighter class or something called Rune Knight, which it gets like giant strength, which allows you to grow 1 size larger
It's a weird thing because
temporarily.
it's a weird thing because that technically falls under the list of natural abilities for the class.
Hmm.
Well,
So you'd be able to do that to go from medium to large, and then large to gigantic with
It
if somebody
depends
casts
on
enlarge on you as well.
It depends on your
depends
DM.
on that as well. Well, that's always the case. But mostly it depends on the wording, obviously, and if it's a spell. The way I would
I was
rule it
wondering,
is I would rule it unless it says you have the ability to cast enlarge on yourself. Then I'd be like, okay, it's the same spell, doesn't stack. But if you're in Josephus' case, when he wild shapes into a large creature, he's now larger size. Does the spell on himself beforehand, carries over. Now he's a bigger animal.
Just wondering if there's any way other than like a druid that a humanoid player character could become a colossal size.
Very rarely.
Colossal, probably not.
I don't even know if
What's the
Josephus
size
can get
between
colossal.
large and colossal?
They're huge.
Only once I become 15 will I be able to become a colossal creature. Up till then, I am currently 1 size larger than gargantuan. Currently gargantuan.
That's right. Colossal is above.
So it goes what? Tiny, small, medium, large, and then what's after large?
Huge. Gargantuan, colossal.
Colossal
Is there a
like
way for a normal
subset
player to-
of huge? I mean, gargantuan. Technically,
Yeah.
colossal isn't even its own size category. It's gargantuan. Parentheses colossal.
Anyways, potion shop.
Yes, potion shop.
Yeah, potion shop. Hello,
Potion seller.
Hello,
Sorry.
sir and or madam. We would like to purchase your finest greater healing potions. We have plenty of dragon bones to sell you in return.
You can tender my
Gold.
service potions. But I will take your dragon bones, so yes. Okay, so... I gave you the dragon bones on weight. They all
Yeah, I
dragon
have
bones.
50 fucking pounds of dragon bones strapped to me.
So they all very... they are expensive. I shall be number one. Of course you will, Knight. Also, thank you for the sub.
Jesus Christ, what's happening to the screen?
It's the little emote thing I set up. I set up a lot of stuff.
Holy shit.
Like
love
how
that.
Shepard now jumps up and down whenever I talk. Anyway, I'm getting all sidetracked. But yes, thank you. You're currently number one, as I've also changed that to be monthly. I changed a lot of shit. I just wish I was at home to do this, to show it off properly. Anyway, the bones all valuable, so
First dragon kill, first time I've had to sell dragon bones. I have no
Really?
idea how much they're supposed to be worth.
I don't actually know if they do have a set price for dragon bones. I highly doubt it, but maybe.
I think it's one of those variable things that depends on where you're at and who you're selling to.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm just gonna pay with gold because dragon bones are more probably worth than gold. Gold is common. How often do people kill dragons?
Depends on where you're at and who you're talking to.
Yeah, honestly.
Goes to the group of level 20 adventurers. How often do you kill dragons? Every other week.
How many level 20 adventurers are there in a given world at once?
I mean, fair.
That is god level characters.
Well, I mean, you're level what, 7 and you kill a dragon, so
6.
6. Yeah, not even 7. You're not even level 20 and you kill a
No,
dragon.
don't correct him. We're level 7 now.
Okay,
No,
you're going
you
to take
won't
the time
get-
to do that? Oh shit, Elder Brain Dragon. I forgot that came out. Holy crap, I need to look at that.
No, he's
I'm
plotting.
seeing all of the new dragon stuff that just popped up. I forgot
New
to look
dragon
at it.
stuff.
Yeah, I forgot to look at it. Anywho,
That reminds me, I
I'm
have
not
a
seeing
question for you
Dragon
after
Ball,
the game.
so... but they are expensive, so... you could probably... for... you have 50 pounds?
Yeah, I have 50 pounds of dragon bones strapped to me like a freak.
I'm assuming you're not giving them all 50 pounds for potions.
No, I'm
Okay.
letting
Does I
Zon,
freaking start eating him?
I would...
I'm letting Zon barter because he knows more about dragons than I do. He would know more about their
oh, shit.
explicit price.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Yes, 4. I'd say 10 pounds of dragon bone would equate to probably 100 gold, maybe a little more. 10 pounds of dragon bone. Yeah, because dragon bone's pretty light actually, so it's more of a how much do you have? It's very useless. Yeah, 100 gold is pretty expensive in this world, but if we're talking about magical purposes, which we are, probably more like 200 actually. I think out of everything, Dragonbone is probably the least magical out of a dragon. Well, probably the wings would be at least magical, but so, meat is pie. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sidetracking myself. 10 pounds, I would say, would be about 200 gold. Something like
I
that.
have 1,000 gold worth of dragon bones strapped to the outside of my body.
Yeah, you killed a dragon.
I'm concerned. How much are greater healing potions? I don't even know anymore. I've never had to buy a greater healing potion before.
I have a list, but it's going to, because I'm not in my regular setup, it's going to take me a while to get it. So, I believe Gradles, regular potions cost 50. Gradles, I believe, costs anywhere from 100 technically 101 to 200. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I'm looking at something and it's showing like depending on the dragon's size, the bones can go anywhere from like 50 gold a pop to up to, depending on how old the dragon is, up to like 6,000.
Yeah, if this
we're
was
definitely not running an ancient.
Yeah, if this was like an ancient, then probably it wasn't an ancient. Technically, stat blocked. It was a young dragon, stat blocked. But you were killing it so fast, I bumped up the HP to be more than an adult.
Well, I have to imagine he probably bolstered himself with some false life spells.
Yeah, there was. I buffed him up a little bit, mostly because of the spells and stuff. Okay, so. Yeah, I believe Greater Healing or Uncommon, so it would be anywhere from 101 to 500. Usually, depending on your area and the campaign, I go with 200 for Greater. Depending on the area you're in, can fluctuate that a little bit and who you're dealing with. For these people, it would probably be around that 200 range.
Alright, so that would take 30 of the... Or, let's see.
Well, 10 pounds is 200, so.
Yeah, 10 pounds is 200. And they had 3 greater healing potions?
3 to 4.
That'd be 30 of 50 pounds. That is it. That is the majority of the dragon bone.
Yeah, that is the majority.
For three health potions. That is gross.
Greater healing potions, but yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's not much that can really be done magically with the bones. It's more the scales and the hide, which I have 20 pounds of.
The bones, I would say, could have a lot of magical properties. Just not the way they are now. You'd have to, use them as ingredients. And then those potions would be
probably not very
expensive.
They're probably not magically in of themselves, but they probably have the great capacity to store magic. So, aka, you can inscribe magic into them, kind of thing.
Oh no, they are magical. Dragons themselves are innately magical, so even the most mundane parts of a dragon have some sort of magical properties to them.
Well, I think Character Enforcer doesn't know if this is a good or bad deal, so he's just looking at Zahn as this is presented.
We'll do 2 of them, and we'll sacrifice 20 pounds of the bone, and then pay the rest out of gold.
You can barter. That's an option.
I'll do that then. Persuasion. Right?
Well, I want to know what you want to do first. Then but yeah. So, basically, what I'm asking is, bartering is an option. But what are you? Yeah, what are you bartering for? To get? I mean, it's probably self-explanatory, but I want to get your side before I assume anything.
15 pounds of dragon bone, 150 gold for 3 potions.
30 pounds of dragon bone. Is that what you said? 30 pounds? 15. Hold on.
15 pounds of dragon bone and 150 gold for 3 potions.
3 potions, 600.
Of greater healing.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and roll Persuasion. And if you can be aided by this, so if you would like to help him, say no.
Yeah, I'll throw in my 2 cents on it and just be like, these are the bones of Blight of Cryptbog, the dragon that was being a bit of a problem. Just as a show of faith that we are able to deal with problems and are going to deal with further problems, and these potions will be of assistance with that.
That'll do it.
22. The individual seems Willing to negotiate. And as you speak of how this is Blight and how you kind of aided in the freeing of several of their people, they agree to the deal.
Alright, so that's 15 of the dragon bones gone?
15 pounds of dragon bones.
Yep, and I subtracted 150 out of my 200 from the 1,000.
Okay, and you for 3 great old healing potions. Is that right? Cool. Yeah. So you now have 3 great old healing potions. Down 15 pounds, down 150 gold. You have 35 pounds left.
Yeah, I have 35
pounds
pounds
of
of
dragon
bones
bone.
left, and then still 20 pounds of scales and hide.
Oh, the scales and hide we are not selling. That shit is going straight to armor for like if you want to take this character to another campaign or something.
Fair enough, which is fine, because at least I can shove that in my backpack and it'll be relatively safe. I'm more worried about the bones currently strapped around me like a fucking skirt.
So they can do that here. By the way, they have that ability. They make leather stuff and all that. That's all dragon scales is really, and dragon hide is leather.
Yep, but it's the skill required to use such a rare and powerful material. Is do they have the skills to do it?
Judging,
He's like,
I mean,
a village out in the middle of nowhere may not, even if they're in a swamp. Yes, they may work with leatherworking, but they might not have the magical know-how combined with their leatherworking skills to actually make something out of it that's not just crap.
well, I can see your logic, but I would say for the most part, I would say that any DM who is allowing you to do that doesn't really take in the magical prowess of a smith into account while letting you have dragon armor. Because it's not the smith bringing out the magical inheritance, it's the scales themselves. Now, if you were trying to actually enhance that innate magical ability of them, the scales, and try to bring out that power even more, then yeah, I would say so. But just trying to basically just make leather armor out of the hide, you could just have any decent leather worker do it, and it would be, it would be your typical dragon armor, but
Okay,
There's also the fact that the Gatorman's physique is, while it is a humanoid, it is much different in terms of stature than the rest of us.
hang on, I gotta check something, because if that's the rules we're running under, I gotta see what I can do with my channel divinity thing that I can do.
okay, your channel divinity is going to be just a little bit different. Because I don't know if technically dragon armor is considered a magical item.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
gotta see. Well, I also would have had to have seen it before, so yeah.
It's considered
never mind
magical.
on
It is considered magical items, but it's not
Which would probably
because
put
it's not because the crafter is making it magical. It's because it is innately magical materials they're working with.
Fair enough. I was just like
Well,
thinking
plus
about it. It
also,
probably went to over my 100 gold limit.
The
Oh,
other
yeah,
thing you have to consider is, as I've actually done some real leather working in real life, you need to know how to treat a specific type of leather to make it into armor. You can't use the same techniques and all that for one leather for all leathers. Like dragonhide leather is probably going to take a different solvent, different techniques and all that. Otherwise, you might just ruin it. That's just me and
that is
me
completely
being
true.
super realistic. I tend to be realistic on that stuff because I find it really interesting to like kind of boil down the nitty gritty kind of stuff of that. But that's just me.
That's fair. You can do that. That's true. Yeah.
Like
if you-
well,
I'm going to tell you right now. If you wanted to risk it, you could, and you'd probably get a decent set of armor. Would it be the most well-fitting and all that? No, but, probably not.
I think for the most part, none of us really use armor except me.
But it would be functional.
Oh,
I'm not actually sure.
Elbin does. He wears leather, doesn't he?
Elbin does. You do. Is Exo well armor? Or do you use your own armor defense?
Unarmored defense.
Okay, thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Soleil.
You have a shield though, right?
Me?
Enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking we could. How many dragon scales we got?
I have 20 pounds split between scales and hide.
I'm just thinking one of the things you could do if you want to keep that character and carry it on to another campaign is you could layer up the front of that shield with some of the dragon scales.
Let's not worry about that.
Yeah.
Because right now you're at level 7, and I haven't even ran level 6. I haven't even ran the campaign when you're starting at level 6. So let's not worry about that part right now. Let's worry about what you're doing right now in the now.
Discussions for future campaigns. Okay, while we're at the Apothecary, Enforcer's just gonna kind of try and describe the particular spell that Big Joe does on himself to make himself bigger, and wants to know if they know any way to replicate that through potion making.
Oh, the enlarge reduce.
Yeah. Specifically, I want to see if they know the way to make the an enlarged potion.
Gnome uses enlarge reduce. It chooses the reduce option. It is now a rat-sized creature.
Looking up a few things. Is there actually a potion for this? I'm not too familiar.
I think it's one of the exotic potions, so it's
Do you
like
know
I'm
what
not.
it's
Up.
Potion of growth? Is that what it is? It's probably potion of
I
growth.
think so.
It's most definitely potion of growth. I was like, is that a potion? Let me go through all the names in my head.
And the enlarge effect for 1d4 hours.
Yep, so this kind of goes into what we were talking about, that the 2 wouldn't stack because it uses this. But anyway.
So how much that is worth, the website I'm on doesn't say.
I have a
It's an uncommon, so it's between the 100 and 500 gold marker.
I have a list that basically gives you prices for the common range. And then you kind of have to use the tier list, and there's a minor tier that the chart doesn't really go into, and you kind of just have to go with maybe a great or uncommon isn't the same price as a minor uncommon. Let's see here.
Thank goodness Potion of Growth is a minor tier.
Holy crap.
Oh, y'all rolling for being drunk, is that what this is?
Yeah, they're over there having a drinking game. We're gonna get back and they're gonna be smashed.
Could we make a +1 Dragonhide belt?
Us personally, or in general?
Theoretically, but a belt doesn't really offer much protection.
While wearing it, you gain +1 bonus to the saving throw DCs of your key features. In addition, you can use an action to regain key points equal to a roll of your martial arts die.
Oh,
you can't use this action until the next dawn.
Oh,
it's a monk.
Is this from the new book that just came out?
It's from FTD, whatever that is.
That's the new book that just came out. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't know about because I haven't read it yet. See, now
basically, it's a monk-only wondrous item, uncommon.
Wondrous,
but it allows. Yeah, it's an uncommon item though.
Yeah. Fitzbane's is like all dragons, so that's probably why it's uncommon.
Oh, holy shit! Black dragon scale mail is very rare. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. Enlarge reduce. They probably wouldn't have that one. And
Alright,
the only reason I'm saying it is because one of the components for enlarge reduce is powdered iron. which
fair
they
enough.
don't really use.
Yeah, swamps are very, very, very deficient of iron.
Alright, fair enough. Figured I'd ask. Be kind of funny, all of us march in as large creatures, except for Josephus, who's gargantuan.
Anything
Depending
else?
on where, I don't think we'd fit the door.
Fair enough.
True.
Is there anything in specific you're looking for, Zahn?
Do they have any... I don't know, are spell scrolls a thing here? In this world or not?
Yeah, spell scrolls exist. This appears to be more of an apothecary, though, not really specifically.
What other kind of potions do they have? Like, just anything interesting?
They have a few different potions, just, basically just ask me and I'll look and see if it would even be possible if they would have it.
I need a list of potions.
Apologies. This was a really last minute, and I think to make a list.
It's okay. Is there anything that are there any potions that amplify one type of damage that you can drink?
Amplified damage? Unless it's something new, I don't believe so. So, I'm looking through a list right now. Let's see. No.
Are all potions magic, or are there some
Yes.
mundane?
All potions are magic.
Oh, they're all...
Yes.
Okay.
Healing, heroism, poison. Potion of poison. That's so fucking wrong. It's just a poison. Speed, vitality. Whoops. I clicked off of it. Okay, so they would have potion of acid resistance.
You just casually drop this in here. It doesn't exist, don't talk about it.
Potion of necrotic resistance, they would have that just because of where they live. Potion of
Using
poison
that.
resistance, they have that. Potion of water breathing, that exists. They don't really need it, but they have it because there was a lot of the stuff needed to make the potion. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me look at this one. Would they have this?
Would they have a potion of fire breath?
No, that's not really something they would have, huh?
What about...
Oh, they have a... Oh, they don't have a, they have some. Potion of aqueous foam. So that's that. It is a rare, so it's on the high end of the spectrum. I think a lot of these are actually rare, other than the ones we've already talked about. Not too sure. I just looked at this one.
And you said necrotic is not something they would have?
No, they do have that one. I was telling you the things they do have.
Did we get a potion? How much would the potion of necrotic resistance be?
Let me look at the... Uncommon, minor tail. So about same 200 range. Gain resistance to necrotic.
I think that'd be... I mean, we're going up against a lich, right?
So what we're
Enforcer.
assuming...
To the best of your knowledge.
Basically, what we know is that the individual, like what I learned from the book, is that he wrote this book, so he's at least a necromancer of some description, and that he was sealed away.
And that you need... somehow you need to either convince him, or trick him, or them, into destroying the book for you.
Oh, I thought we were just going there to murder him.
Oh no, that's the reason why you're going there, to destroy the book. And to murder him.
I mean, it's probably going to end with fighting either way.
Murder.
You originally were going though to destroy the book.
I mean, originally, but
Joe never agreed to destroying the book in the slightest.
yeah, that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is the more Enforcer thinks about it, the more a plan is hatching in his brain.
The more the knowledge wants to seep into your mind. Yeah, because you're not actually a cleric who hates all undead. You're more of a cleric who just wants to make shit.
Pretty much. It's just like any knowledge that can be used to further the progression of building something.
Which, enchantments and all that fall into this category, so, you know.
Yee.
Yeah, I'll pass then. For now.
Alright.
I can't think of anything else really, unless we want to see.
She does have regular potions of healing as well, so the 50 gold ones, if you want to buy those. If those interest you at all.
How many does she have?
I've got 62 gold left, I think. I'll buy another one and spend 50 on it.
Out of those, there's quite a few. They're kind of not easy to make. No potion is easy to make, but she has a few of them. There was about six of those.
6 of them?
Yeah.
There's now 5.
No, but 5.
Alright, and they're 50 gold each, so 10. Or you said 10 pounds is 200?
Well,
Yes.
here's the thing is, we're spending on all our materials. We've got 3 greater and 1 normal one. The other 3 can spend their gold if they want to get more. They've got 200 gold each, don't they?
I don't know how you divided it out exactly, but something like that.
I basically just took enough to do my platinum rings, and then the rest of my share was, I think Zahn actually took the portion of my share that I didn't take. So I only used 100, so another 112, I think was the math.
So then another 100 spent to buy another 2, so that's 3 greater and 3 normal then.
I think that's good enough for now, and worst comes to worst, I can just kind of leave the rest of the material with Gropper while we go fight the Lich. That
We're
way it
gonna just
doesn't get
go
ruined.
buy a chest with a lock. Or we could just ask the chieftain for somewhere to store our shit. Since we saved their freaking village from a dragon, the least he could give us is a lockbox to put shit in and lock it so nobody takes our shit while we're gone.
Let me look up how much a chest actually is real quick.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny, but not super expensive.
I mean, we don't have to buy it, we just need to ask him if we could use one for like a day
it's
or
only
2.
A chest is only 5 gold pieces.
12 cubic feet or 300 pounds of go. I'd say you might have a little bit more. Well, no, maybe not. I was gonna say maybe you had a little bit more than 12 cubic feet of dragon bone, but no, not really. You didn't take the entire skeleton with you, so no, not really.
Alright, so do any of the shops around
Chieftain.
here look like they have a chest that we can buy? Because I do
Why
still.
buy one when...
Go ahead.
Why buy one? Why not just ask the chieftain, hey, as a favor, can you give us a lockbox we can use for a day or 2? I mean, come on, that's a small price to pay for the fact that we just killed a dragon for them.
I mean, in character, Enforcer wouldn't want to keep leveraging that because it's not something that's like he did for any specific like greedy reason. That was something he just did because it was the
but
right
have
thing
we
to do.
leveraged it at all?
Listen, it's 5 gold pieces and Enforcer still has 18. He's gonna buy a fucking chest.
Okay, buy a chest. Then we can ask him if we can store it somewhere safe then.
Yeah, that much we can go with. But the Enforcer's just gonna buy the chest because he doesn't want to leverage 5 gold pieces out of like, hey, look at us, we're heroes.
To be fair, you have leveraged it a little bit.
Yeah.
He gave you a place to sleep for 2 nights. So.
Yeah.
A safe place to sleep for 2 nights.
Fuck it, I'll also buy a lock for the chest just to make sure it's properly secured. 'Cause that's only 10 gold as well, so
I've got 12 gold. 24 gold. I can ante up for the lock if it gets too expensive.
It's 10 gold. I can buy the lock and the chest with the 18 I had on me.
Wait, it's 10 gold for a lock, but only 5 gold for a chest? What?
Yeah, locks are very
That makes no
mechanical.
sense.
Locks are very mechanical. Chests are just, boxes.
So if those are available around here somewhere, I'd like to buy a chest and a lock for the rest of this.
I'd say you could find something relatively decent around to, store your goods.
Alrighty. Oh, that's right. I also give Blight's head to the chieftain, so I can take that off my sheet.
Did you give that to him, or did you keep it?
Yeah.
We gave him the skull. Zahn just wanted to keep the horns.
I thought you kept it.
No.
After you said, why would you desecrate the skull or something like that? I thought you kept it.
No. I took it originally to give it to the chieftain as like a gift to be like, here's the skull of your enemy.
Yeah, I remember that. And then we had a whole little talk about it. It's like, you can keep the skull, but I want the horns. And he was like, why would you, destroy your prize like that? So I thought you kept it. Or did you still give it to him?
I still would have given him the skull, like...
When I say you, I mean you as a group, by the way. Not just you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Zahn will give up the horns and just let him keep the whole thing then.
I mean, he would have done it. He would have, allowed you to do it. Just a little weird to him. So if you want the
thought
horns,
about it more and doesn't think he can do anything with the horns, so...
if you want the horns, you can have the horns. I just thought you kept the skull. Was all. I'll say you have the horns. That was just me. I will say you have the horns. I thought you just kept the whole skull. So yeah. So you find a chest, lock, put your stuff in it, lock it up.
Put the bones, scales, and skins in the chest and lock it up.
This is the most OP these 3 have done this entire fucking campaign.
Yeah, I know, right? This is the most excellent talk to the entire campaign.
Not even talking. Yeah. So
inventory management is the oddest RP you've done in this campaign. That's saying something.
No, sorry. Yeah.
I think he was talking about the shots RP.
Yeah, I was talking about the shots OP. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, the shots. Okay.
Yeah.
Shot.
This is normal for people to do in chat on this side when DM's concerned with the other members. I've seen this a lot.
Want Enforcer to walk into the bar right now.
Well, we might get though. So you two doing anything else?
Once I have everything securely in the chest, I'm good. Zahn, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, so you two finish up.
Yeah.
We're gonna head back.
We just gotta figure out who gets what potions.
Yeah. So you two finish up. Start to head back. Alright, you 3 drunkards, what you doing?
Hold on,
I'm currently Josephus.
Yeah, young. That's the perfect time to influence them.
That's when I was adopted.
Yeah. That's when.
And now look at me.
That's when my guy, the guy who taught me druidry, taught me Apex, the philosophy of eating everything.
Yeah.
He
was the guy that taught me how to shoot people in the face.
Wait. Joe, we don't know how to use a gun. What are you talking about?
Oh. What?
What?
Belch. From the gator folk nearby.
But, yeah, I bet his church has some kids we could adopt, so I think
Oh, for fuck's sake.
we'll talk, I'll talk to him about, we'll talk, yeah.
How hammered are these two right now?
He is about 5 human shots in.
So how shit-faced is he?
Very. He is already thrown up.
It's like leaned over the
How
bar
is
just
he?
like,
How is he this coherent? He should be like,
How was them? They
Mad.
can't swallow. I don't know. Something like that. Who knows?
15 con.
15 cons.
Oh shit.
plot convenience, that's how.
All creature should not be able to hold much liquor.
Where's the Enforcer?
That's a good question. But hey, when you talk to Enforcer about this, I'll be there too. That way it's 2-on-1. You can't lose.
Wait, where's my husband?
So he is agendered.
Yeah, I actually, he never answered that. I haven't seen his joke
So we just keep
yet.
calling him he.
Yeah, we never. No, I think I asked. I think he said he.
We'll ask him.
We'll ask him. Isn't that right, Third Joe?
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't leave them alone for 5 minutes.
We know nothing right now, Enforcer. We are not there.
No, but you're
It's
about
gonna
to be.
continue just like this until they arrive.
Yeah, so you two walk in. Pretty much know where they are. So
Zon!
I know that clanking anywhere.
Yeah.
Zon, what the hells am I looking at?
Enforcer, I have multiplied.
Yes, I have.
And I grin deviously and realizing their head. Oh wait, how much pain are their heads in right now, or have they not hit any hangovers yet? Or are they just drunk?
I don't know, they're just shit faced.
Oh, I have Mind Sliver. I'm going to prank the fuck out of you in the morning.
They have not hit hangover mode yet.
Enforcer, I want to adopt.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Enforcer, do you mind? Sets down his water barrel, opens it up, gets 3 globes of water, looks at Enforcer, looks at the 3, looks at Enforcer, shoots the 3 in the face with a ball of water.
That was rude.
You've never heard of this technique? What you do is when somebody's drunk, you dunk their head in a barrel of water. I figure this would be an easier way of doing it. Shoots them again in the face.
Doesn't the Lord just go through this one?
It does.
I'm mildly
Realize it's
concerned
an
about all
illusion.
of this.
Puts the
Yeah,
second
that's an
ball of third ball of water at at the middle Josephus. Shoots him again.
This is a bit excessive.
I'm awake.
Are you feeling sober yet?
No.
No? Okay. Shoots him again in the face.
Yes, I am.
Would you stop?
I can't hear you. Shoots him again in the face.
It's because I see underling doesn't mean that.
Stops. Josephus looks like a wet rat, drowned rat now.
You're lucky these feathers are insulated.
Pulls the
Honestly,
water out of their clothing.
Oh
Honestly,
shit.
Josephus, I would have considered you to be the last person to ever want to adopt any sort of children.
I want a teenager that was thrown away by their parents.
And there's the kicker.
I want to teach them the ways to take revenge on the world like my teacher taught me.
I want a Robin.
Josephus, one of these days we're going to have to talk about your mentor and how much he needs to get smacked upside the head for everything he's said to you.
Hey. My mentor picked me up at a young age too.
See? Other me.
I turned out just fine.
He
Okay,
has shot a man who was surrendering. Isn't that the kind of kid everyone wants?
To be fair, it wasn't a man, it was a troll.
It was a mortal being with thoughts and ambitions.
Zahn
And a
looks at,
squishy dome piece.
is Exil standing next to Zahn?
Yeah, he teleported in.
Zahn
Hey.
looks at Exil and asks him, are we the only two that have had normal, growing up, history here?
He shrugs.
Forcer's gonna reach out his hands and put a hand on both of the tangible, Josephus's heads.
Well, public displays of affection are
Their
wanted.
skulls. Crack their skulls. Crack their skulls.
Fauna, grant me patience for what I have to deal with today.
I rolled the chaos dice today.
That's a restoration.
He's just gonna kind of look back and forth between the two of them. You do understand that your childhoods were not commonplace, correct?
You're one to talk.
I technically didn't have a childhood.
Oh shit, I grew up!
Oh no.
Just looks over as one of his hands starts rising.
Technically, I think he was always a medium creature.
I have it so that
Oh, look.
I can change size.
Okay, never mind.
Just one size category.
That is mildly disturbing.
Oh look,
Please
the
do not do
ugly
that again.
cocoon grew into a beautiful butterfly. You hear
Listen,
that?
this
They
is just
think
more
you're
comfortable,
beautiful.
alright?
I think you're beautiful.
Looks over his shoulder at Zon. Are you hitting on Eldon?
No, I was actually insulting Josephus. I said ugly cocoon.
I was bullied for most of my life. You're gonna have to try harder than that.
Yeah, you gotta single them out in a drinking cane. Like this. Hey, if you've ever died while
shut
fighting a dragon, take a shot.
We already did that one.
There's no rule against repeats.
This is a dumb game.
Pulls
Yes.
out a book out of his shell. Yeah, there is. There's one in the bro code here somewhere about that. You
Okay,
can't
have to
use
ask this
something like that twice in a drinking code.
I have to ask this question. Is there alcohol currently in a glass on the counter?
No, there's a lot.
Enforcer's just gonna grab one and tip it back into his mouth.
Shit, you can drink.
Wait, that's not fair.
And I have advantage.
Can you
against
get
poison.
drunk?
I have advantage
Wait.
against poison. So
Did you get drunk?
Can
moment,
you
let's
get
see.
drunk?
I gotta roll twice because I have advantage against poison.
I don't think you have to roll after one drink. Unless you're a lightweight. Is Enforcer a lightweight?
Enforcer's never drank before.
Okay, he's a lightweight.
Not too much of a lightweight.
Well, I think everybody's a lightweight on their first time drinking.
Oh yeah, I may have created a cultural holiday for the Gator.
We left you alone for 10 minutes.
It feels a lot longer than that.
I think it was more like
It's
a
a
half an
good
hour or
thing.
more.
We're eating dragon today.
It's a feast. It's good for the people.
Feast. I'm gonna teach them all about Apex and how eating this dragon is gonna make them stronger, and how they should eat more big things.
Then every year they'll hunt down another large creature and sacrifice it to be eaten.
Yes.
It'll be a bonding for fathers and sons.
The cook behind you just kind of rubs his nose and says, "We'll do that already."
Oh hell yeah! I love these people.
It's not really once a year thing. It's kind of just a whenever thing.
Yeah, but this will be the special hunt.
Josephus.
Josephus is gonna fall forward onto Ribbon and just lay on his stomach.
Josephus.
Thing where he turns his head all the way around so he's looking straight up.
Yes.
If I die, are you going to eat me?
That's
I
so
don't
creepy.
think I could. But yes,
He might eat you though, Elvin.
if any of y'all die, I am eating you. Because you are strong individuals, and to do anything else would be disrespectful.
Well, eating me honestly would be disrespectful to me.
What?
I know, well, you'll be dead, so we don't have to worry about that.
What if I... Do I have to be dead?
Are you offering me a leg?
Enforcer's gonna, like, reach up to, like, a clasp on his neck and, like, undo the metal a little bit. And there's, like, a wood... underneath is kind of like a wooden skeleton, essentially.
Yo, what the fuck?
He's gonna kind of reach up and, like...
I don't like this!
He's gonna, like, blindly grab at, like, a sharp object on the counter.
Zon's gonna stop him and say, "Okay, stop there. Don't make me shock you."
No,
A skeleton?
I have this question. I need to know the fundamentals of his abilities.
Well,
Too bad. Mage hand slaps Enforcer across the face. Snap out of it.
Did you make yourself drunk on a 16?
Yeah.
No, that was to try to stop me from throwing up.
No, I'm talking about Enforcer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I decided to just take the fail just for this.
Warforged have skeletons.
We are
This changes things.
we are composed of both wood and metal.
I need to find Ty.
Enforcer's gonna
tell
look
that
back at Zon and then
And tell him he has a skeleton.
look back at Zon and then very carefully just like kind of shave off a small sliver. I'll take like 5 points of damage for this, just for shits and giggles. Just shave off a small sliver of like the underneath and pass it over to Joe. Do you think you can eat that?
I think I can boil it in a soup and eat the nutrients from it.
I don't know how comfortable I am with that one. That one's actually kind of weird.
I'm gonna take the
Fireball.
bone sliver and add it to my
Too late,
inventory for a
fireball.
later date.
Hey,
Just
bro. Hey,
reclass-
bro.
I cast Firebolt.
How's it going?
What are you casting it on?
I just the wooden shard.
You're gonna cast Fireball on something smaller
on
than
a
a
very
pinky.
tiny sliver of wood. Very tiny.
I don't have control fire, so I can't make a tiny little fireball.
You have
Or a tiny little
Fireball?
fire.
But you're going to try and do it regardless. I'm going to tell you, it's going to have a very high AC.
It's
very
weird.
tiny.
Could I just hold it in my hand and make a swipe for the thing?
I'd allow that, yeah.
What skill?
To try and swipe it? I'd say it'll probably be your acrobatics. Dexterity.
So
It's not like
dexterity
he
or
actually did like.
acrobatics? One.
And it would be, well, it would technically be, it would be acrobatics or it would be athletics. for you. And for Enforcer to try and, not have it snatched away would be the same option.
I'll put it this way: it's like he didn't do like real damage to himself. It's just like because like underneath, I say skeleton, it's like actual like another him underneath.
It's yeah.
We
Josephus,
chose
The
the
metal's armor, and the wooden underneath is more like the flesh kind of thing.
Essentially, yeah, and he just shaved off like a small piece of that and gave it to Josephus.
Okay, never mind. I retract my statement.
Yeah, like he didn't hurt himself to do it. Well, I
Well,
took the 5 damage
took
just because
five,
I thought you were legitimately giving him part of your skeleton, not like the under armor part.
No, it's like basically like the flesh. Sorry, that was my bad. I should have been more specific with
for
that.
all intents and purposes, it would kind of like be the skeleton for him, but
He's like an insect. He's got an exoskeletal system.
yeah, it's
With armor on top of it, kind of thing. But
Really?
it's not his core framework, like his wire frame, so to speak.
No. Like he didn't like mortally wound himself or like remove a limb.
I'd say you would took 1 point.
Well,
of
no.
damage, not 5. So,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so. Okay then. Fair enough.
But I guess since we're all drunk, we'd probably spend the night here before heading out to deal with the Lich in the ruins.
Completely up to you.
Zon's not drunk, but he's gonna have fun making you undrunk in the morning.
But alright, so, anything else you wanted to do? Yeah?
Not until the morning. I want to RP that out.
Enforcer would basically just like say a small blessing over the feast because cleric acolyte things.
Well,
Uh,
I was kind of going to give you the opportunity to LP during the feast if you wanted to.
Fair enough.
I just meant
Yeah.
like up until the point of that.
Not that well, Enforcer would have a lot of questions has had questions for Josephus, but currently he's AFK, so I'll just say it's things he asked during the feast. So leading up to the feast, I'm done. Anybody else?
No, I'm ready to eat.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. Alright then.
You're drunk.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
Tell it to the clock.
What's o'clock?
Have you seen that video? It's like a guy walks in home. She's like, "You're drunk." No, no, I'm not. Tell it to the clock. The guy turns to the clock. I'm not drunk. I swear to drunk, I am not God.
Just turns and looks at Oban. He's drunk.
Very.
I'm the only one not drunk.
Why is there still another Josephus over here? Tries to pat the other Josephus, just slides through.
Is Exo
He's
drunk?
just he's tipsy but not fully drunk. He
Did
hasn't drunk
throw
as
up
much.
earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't drink as much as these two.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't
my
sure if you
illusion stuff,
actually
dude.
drunk because there was just an illusion sitting there. So I wasn't too sure.
Just swiping through the illusion, just like, I can't grab him.
Alright, so you all continue to drink and for the most part relax
Feast.
in the Shack Tavern for a majority of the day, going dark into the night. Various foods are beginning to pile in from all the inhabitants. All different kinds of meats, various fillets of fish, soups, very few crops. They're all stews and made out of vegetable and plant matter that you're not too familiar with. And steamed plants that have been brought out. And soon a feast is being prepared and made and set up for the entire village to partake in. The chieftain is out with his people, and the feast begins. Everyone digs in the shack in the surrounding area, as it kind of all been turned into this festive area. You may proceed.
Enforcer had like another drink just out of propriety for being at a feast. He's gonna start looking around at the others if they're nearby. I have a question for all of you.
I have an answer for me.
Seeing as I have not necessarily been outside of my temple and don't have the best world knowledge for other peoples, how long do all of your peoples live?
Beautiful. Several moons. We don't keep count too much. We live, raise the hatchlings for every season. I am roughly 30 seasons in.
Portals live to 50. Nodding along. One more time, son.
Portals live between 50 to 70.
Looks back and forth between Elwan and Exel.
I live about like a human does.
80 years.
All roughly about humans.
Yep.
Don't know about Josephus though.
I'll wait for him to be more coherent to ask him that question.
He's missing out on some good bones.
Bone broth. Bone broth.
So, you mentioned missing out on bone broth, and Enforcer's just like, oh dear, he would never want to do that. Just reach over and grabs little owl folk. Grabs a bowl of the broth.
Sorry about that.
Oh, hello.
Welcome back.
just grabs him, shakes him a little bit awake, and like pulls the bone broth over. She's like, you need to eat. You need to eat, Josephus. Keep your strength up.
I need to eat Josephus?
It's just...
I've never thought about it like that.
What happens if you eat yourself?
I think that's a net neutral.
Eatception.
Without even thinking about it, Enforcer like scoops some of the bone broth into his mouth and just like, oh dear.
Wait, you can choke? What the fuck?
I was not expecting that particular flavor.
You can taste?
Not in the same sense that you can, but to some degree.
I go back to my food and bone broth.
Josephus, how long do your people live?
Yep. I try not to think about that.
I've heard tales from other continents where druids are more talkative. There might be an Aeg, I'm not certain anymore. And that some of the more powerful ones live 10 times their normal lifespan.
That's never really been the goal for me.
But just imagine if for that long you
Fast,
were
young.
you were the apex predator of this world.
But honestly, that's something I'm trying to avoid. Because if I am that, what the fuck do I do next? I'm not ready to answer that question.
You see,
Do what owls do. Sleep.
I like that idea.
You see, Josephus, it's funny to me. You're a strange individual sometimes, but there's not inherently good or evil in you. You're like a sword, born against the world, constantly seeking to sharpen your edge. In a strange way, in a strange way, it's like the more powerful you try to become, the less of a threat you are to innocent lives. It's a strange thing, your philosophy.
Yeah, why the fuck would I just kill random people? They ain't stronger than me.
And that's the beautiful part of it, I'm coming to realize. The more you sharpen your edge, the more you are a weapon for good, as many of the things that you would hunt would be creatures of ill repute, gaining power for the sake of domination or destruction or what have you.
Until an angel or god gets in front of him and challenges him.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If I get strong enough, your god goes on the list. I'm gonna be honest. Do I think I can win that fight? Probably not. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna pick it.
Josephus.
I'll let you decide that.
The problem is, Josephus, if you pick a fight with the gods, they come in pantheons, you see. You wouldn't get to fight just one god.
Words.
Their powers are beyond our ken.
Josephus stays awake. Oh wait, shit, is the bone broth done?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're currently in the
It's been
feast. You
done.
missed
We're
that
currently
exposition.
eating it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, you,
Yeah, like,
you,
when did all this
yeah,
happen?
you missed that. You missed that exposition. You're currently in the feast, and everyone is,
Enforcer's trying to
I can't
feed
wait-
you.
I can't wait until the morning after, because if you saw what I linked in Blight of Cryptbog and go to 152, that's what I'm going to be doing to you in the morning. All you drunks.
Enforcer, I'm not into the whole, like, daddy take care of me thing.
No, you're drunk.
You're drunk.
I can hold the
You're both
spoon
drunk, now
just
shut up.
fine.
I don't even use a spoon.
You don't be a savage, Josephus.
Josephus, like, lifts the bowl to his beak and starts, like, drinking it like a bird.
Josephus, no, don't be a savage.
This is... What do you mean? You are insulting my culture. This is how all owl folk eat soup. There's nothing strange about this. Yes, thank you, Joe 3.
Drink from a spoon, then.
No!
Use utensils.
Stop enforcing your culture on me.
I think we started off this episode going to fight some sort of lich.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, just like
too late
20
for that now.
of the alligator folk will just.
No,
They're They're like dinner and a show.
To the hells with it. And Enforcer just picks up an entire bowl and just drains it back in the same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to regret this in the morning.
Joe finishes this bowl. And
Zahn thinks to himself, "Oh yes, you will." Starts cackling maniacally in his head.
Enforcer, if you try to do anything to me when I wake up, I'm turning into a giant elk.
The worst I'm going to do is carry you to bed so that you can sleep.
Good luck finding where I go to sleep at night.
All 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 7. You know what? Never mind. So we need to, we should sleep.
So this has been fun.
we should sleep. We have to kill the we. Are we, Josephus, the book? What are we doing with that?
Eating it.
You know that means we can't kill the creator of the book.
Oh yes, we can. Unless this is his phylactery. Then that makes things difficult.
When I used the spell to learn about it, it did not say that this was the phylactery.
Even if it is the phylactery. Well, that just means we get a spawn campaign.
Yeah, your choice of
What's
vernacular
spawn
concerns me.
It's when you wait for an egg to hatch so you can kill the young.
Josephus, no!
Scrim.
No, it makes sense.
Kills people.
Josephus, that kills me.
It's like when you hunt hog in the woods, you shoot the mother so the piglets die soon after.
What? You...
Is that a real thing?
Probably.
Yes.
Like out of character?
I mean, it probably will happen,
Wild
realistically.
bow is a big problem. So,
Oh yeah, we're in the south. In the south, I've heard that. Like Texas and all that, they are a nuisance.
well, it's not so much a nuisance. They destroy crops.
In the
and
interest of the
environment
fact
and all
that this
good
is
stuff.
on
Anyway,
Twitch, I'll answer that in the Discord.
We should sleep because we're going to go do things to a lich in the morning.
I don't remember what time of the day it is. Hey, did Jove get potions?
This Zahn has them. Zahn potions.
Zahn, what do we have?
3 greater and 3 normal.
Nice.
You know the worst part about this now. I don't sleep like the rest of you. I have to experience this for the full duration.
A mess.
I'm never doing this again. I can feel the bones in my stomach. Creak! Woof!
How was that?
I think that was him falling over.
I'm going to lay on the floor now.
You should have brought a portable ribbit.
Oh,
Flings sings the unconscious enforcer onto his back, onto his shell.
I weigh like 400 some odd pounds.
Dragging strength.
Dragging strength. I'm a turtle. I'm used to going slow.
Just
Are the people at least enjoying the feast?
Oh yeah, There's like a big celebration going on around you. Most of them really aren't even paying you much attention.
Fantastic.
There's
Are there fights?
there's a few. Most of it's celebration and fun stuff. Many of them are just sharing stories about times they've gone hunting and their daily lives. The
Josephus.
monsters they've seen in the wilderness and all that good stuff. Those small hatchlings running around.
Hey, people! Hey, do you want to see what a giant elk looks like?
Hold on,
Nope,
Josephus.
I'm
Hold on.
stopping you right there.
Josephus, hold on.
Hops down.
Hey,
Follow me.
didn't you say you were gonna wrestle a gator?
I'm too drunk for that.
So he does have limits. Good to know.
I don't choose fights I'm going to lose.
A few of them begin to follow.
You are-
Yeah.
Enforcer, I thought you were unconscious.
I am just laying on the ground. I don't experience unconsciousness in the same way that you do.
Let me just get this set up.
This is great.
Can you wild shift while drunk? And what does that do to your wild shape?
Also
Technically, it makes me better because I become bigger. So the blood alcohol level is like. Anyways,
but we don't know how
behold.
what
You know what?
alcohol affects animals.
You know what? Technically, he's right. I hate it, but
Yeah, but we also
technically,
don't know. But we also don't know how alcohol affects animals.
They get
Because,
drunk.
like, for cats, it's deadly though for a lot of animals.
Just
it's deadly
Yeah.
for humans too.
still, if they don't want to get drunk.
Well, no, like it can straight like a freaking spoonful of alcohol can kill a cat. Sometimes, and a dog, depending on a bunch of factors.
What's Josephus doing now?
behold! And I'm going to cast Enlarge Person on myself. Jump off the deck and just before I hit the water, wild shape into. Let me just unsnap that from grid. Boop boop boop. A gargantuan elk.
Yeah.
It's about 60 feet tall.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I don't think you can get that big.
Yes, I can.
That's
How big is the giant?
what's
elk?
the size for?
Let's go find out to get. Well, actually, yeah. Let me
Giant
get.
oak is huge.
It is huge size now. It's
Yeah.
gargantuan, which doubles
Alright,
its
so-
size.
if you'll gather your kids around, I can show them exactly where to shoot on an elk now to hit the heart. Josephus, I need you to stay right there, broadside.
All right, so
Not
you-
head.
you cast enlarge on yourself, become just slightly, well, a little bit more than slightly, a little bit tall.
He gets like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, 5 feet tall. The people around you kind of, clap. They're a little surprised. You jump off, and then all of a sudden there's a massive elk that just busts out of the water. And they all kind of stand back applauding. Some of them are a little confused, curious.
Does anybody want to try my gun and try to shoot it?
Multiple individuals step forward and,
Okay.
take
Elbon,
opportunity.
Elbon, no.
According to the chart, it's somewhere between 32 to 64 feet. So I choose 60 feet.
Chalk? What chalk? Chalk are you looking at?
This chart.
How big a huge creature is.
I mean, I don't know if this is the exact chart. I just looked up one and it says this, and it sounds like the numbers that I've been using, so.
I was about to type in huge elk. Still giant elk. Oh, it can talk.
What? Wait, it can talk?
Yeah, it has a language. Giant elk. Has its own specific language.
Oh shit, I can speak common!
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, no, but can't
No,
speak.
Oh,
them.
can't
it's
speak.
not common.
Can't speak.
It would be probably it'd probably be
No, it understands.
what is it that
it understands Common, Elvish, and Sylvan. But can't speak.
Yeah, it probably can speak Sylvan though.
No, it can't speak.
You can't speak them.
Okay, it understands them, but it can't speak them.
This is what it says. Giant elk. This is on the languages. Giant elk. So you can speak giant elk. Whatever that may be. And you understand Common, Elvish, and Sylvan. 2 of those I believe you already knew. 1 of those you didn't. Unless you knew Elvish.
I didn't know Elvish.
Okay, well.
But now I understand Elvish.
Now you understand Elvish.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Is Josephus okay with us taking pot shots at him?
Yes. He nods.
You understand what
How
I'm
much
shooting
health?
you with?
Nods. 42.
Hang on,
I love this
I need to look
background.
at something.
The majestic giant elk is rare, to the point that its appearance is often taken as a foreshadowing of an important event.
Alright, so whenever you go to shoot a giant elk, guys, this is what you want to do. You want to go ahead and you want to aim right behind the shoulder blade so you can hit the heart. Watch
Right.
as I do it.
Right before you shoot, I do want to read the last line of the description.
I just read that
Many-
too.
Oh, many cultures therefore believe that to hunt these creatures is to invite divine wrath. Alright, so go ahead, shoot it.
Yeah, but you're not one naturally. You're just shifted into the
Some of them aren't too sure about that.
Enforcer stands up and kind of drunkenly walks out while Elbon's doing his explanation and kind of like giggling to himself, just we're gonna cast Sanctuary on the giant elk.
And Possum.
Sanctuary too.
Is it dark outside, DM?
Oh yeah, it's not time.
So I'm
Yeah, but there are torches around.
Oh, touche.
You also have to succeed a Wisdom saving throw before you can attack him now.
And I have
Okay.
a ball of water at the end of your gun.
Oh, I wonder where this table is. I wonder
He
if it's
said
in the
he's okay
dungeon
with
room.
this.
I mean, just because he's okay with it doesn't mean a shot to the heart won't instant kill him. I don't care if he's wild shaped or not.
I'd have to crit.
Yeah, but by the rules of D&D.
Yeah, but Zon doesn't. This is Zon being realistic, not gaming.
Oh, okay,
gaming,
fair enough.
metaing.
Fair enough.
He doesn't. He's not sure that if a creature, a druid that's wild shaped, takes a shot directly to the heart, that they will change back and be okay. He's pretty sure if you take a shot to the heart, even if you're shifted, they die.
Oh no, the
Is he
damage
sure
carries
He's like,
over.
Putting
Yeah.
water at the end of the barrel is going to stop this.
Have you ever tried to shoot a bullet into water? It's a
subsonic-
5-foot cube of water. It's gonna slow down a lot.
Sanctuary!
What are you doing?
Why is everyone trying to protect my dumbass?
Yeah,
Enforcer-
right?
Enforcer's doing it for a laugh because it's
One that kills you.
What are you doing? What's going on?
I guess I'm making a savings throw.
yeah. Because while he was doing his little speech, Enforcer drunkenly walked in close enough range to cast Sanctuary.
Oh, okay,
I
so
did
you
not pass.
cast Sanctuary on the giant elk.
Yep.
I'm not too sure if the giant elk is actually 64 feet.
I found the actual source book rules, and it doesn't say any actual like size or tallness.
I'm pretty sure there is a size somewhere in the D&D lore about how big a giant elk is.
Yes.
It's
Either
just
way,
not
I
in
didn't
the
make a
5e
wisdom
book.
saving throw, so...
Oh, that's sad.
Elbon lifts his gun to shoot the giant elk, and just this sudden existential dread.
Well, this is really disappointing. According to Forgotten Realms, it's only 7 feet tall.
At the shoulder, which means at the top of the antlers is probably close to 15 to 20 feet.
Yeah, because the minimum from huge, if this chart is correct, is 16 feet. So with antlers, you're at least 16 feet.
15 to
Yeah,
26.
so I'd say
something
probably-
like that.
Yeah, 20 feet. I'd say 20 feet with at the tip of the antlers would be a good
I
approximation.
believe a giant elk
So-
is based on the real life giant elk.
Or Megalocropsis giganticus, the Irish elk.
Yes, that.
He did enlarge it, so it's not. It's now bigger. So
Yeah, I'm
what?
just.
Well,
How
that
much?
size.
I'm just talking about
Would you
the extinct giant elk.
It's about 30-ish feet tall, because it doubles.
Yeah. How deep is the water?
Oh, that's actually a great question.
Pretty deep.
Uh-oh. It's no drunk.
But, no, you can kinda swim.
I mean, moose
That's-
swim.
Yeah, exactly. You can kinda swim. So you're fine.
Yeah, but he said he's standing up out of the water. Like, how are you gonna be able to see his heart if
Well,
everything
he's-
but his neck is under the water?
It's not... Okay, when I said very deep, I didn't mean like 30 or 20 feet deep. I meant like 10 or so.
Well,
Oh, okay.
10 or 12. Okay, got it.
It is just
So
a
it's up to like
swamp.
the
It's not
bottom
like
of
a
his
massive thing.
waist or something like that.
Yeah.
It's up to his underside or something like that, right? Actually,
Yeah,
no, wait,
great
it'd be probably
top-down
mid-
shot on the
mid-thigh.
broadside. Textbook drift stand shot.
Huh.
Enforcer's just trying to quietly giggle to himself, but between being drunk and not stealthy, it's just coming out as this.
Well, this
What,
is a little
what
disappointing.
kind of noise are you making?
What have you found, Mr. DM?
The extinct elk was only roughly 7 feet tall. Doesn't say if it's at the shoulder or not.
Well, isn't that how big elk are normally? Like, they're
Shouldn't
bigger
be.
than humans.
Elk are fucking huge if you didn't know this.
Elk are pretty big,
Yeah.
but this is supposed to be the largest elk, so apparently smaller than 7 feet.
Well,
Anywho,
fuck that.
No, they are big, but they're only about 4.5 to 5 feet to the shoulder, typically.
you all still a gargantuan creature, so you all within that massive, size category, whatever that may be.
Well, I think we're thinking of moose. That's what the issue is. I think we're thinking of moose.
You probably all thinking of moose. Elk are
Moose are
elk are pretty big.
massive.
Moose
Yep.
also-
Apparently, according to this, normal elk are only about 4.5 to 5 feet at the top of their shoulder, but moose are fucking massive.
I'm gonna speak giant elk and start baying at the party.
See, he wants me to shoot him.
Enforcer's too busy laughing and just falls over again.
I was
Zon
muted.
is sick
I
of
was
this
muted
shit and
entire
retreats
time.
in his shell until morning.
Hello, and thanks so much for
AKA,
the
I'm just
raid.
quitting so
And the
we
host,
can speed
Live
it
and
up.
Let's Die. Hello, welcome,
I'm
welcome
going
everyone,
inactive
welcome
at this
everyone
point. I'll
who
laugh
came
myself
from,
into
from the raid.
inactivity.
And hello, Nectarus.
Josephus will
Glad
probably
you
do a few
glad
other
you saw
party
it.
tricks before turning in for the night.
Also, if you came in with the raid,
I'm just gonna go ahead and go find
you
a
can
bunk.
click that handy little link, and then that way you count as a viewer, and not just a raider. You were talking about
Dispute.
elk and mooses, because it was relevant.
Oh, it's because it was.
It's not mooses, it's moose.
Oh yeah, Zon realized he didn't. Probably shouldn't play here out in the middle of nowhere. Then goes from his shell and then grabs Enforcer and just grabs him by the ankle and just starts dragging him.
Making the most ungodly noise of metal on wood.
Okay, so you all go.
You're heavy, motherfucker.
You're all tuning in for the night then?
Yes.
Yes.
A few of the
That
Ghetto
was
folk
fun.
individuals not having the ability to take the shot kind of look a little disappointed. Other ones looked a little relieved. And then eventually,
Maybe next time, guys.
everything settles down. The festivities come to an end. And you
Zon
all-
goes to sleep. He starts cackling madly in his mind because he's got a good wake-up call for these drunks.
You all tune in for the night.
I'm gonna sleep on the roof over here.
You climb on top of this very rickety wooden weed.
I'm okay
Roof.
with this.
And you all tune in for the night.
Just trapped inside my own body, feeling myself slowly go from drunk to hungover.
Ever so
Yeah, it must
slowly.
suck not be able to sleep that off.
And then eventually, the night passes, morning comes, and you all awaken. Also, let me go and give you.
And Zahn gets out the water barrel and proceeds to pick up Josephus and repeatedly dunk him in it. Face first.
Yeah.
Puts him down, pulls the water out of his feathers and clothes. Proceeds over to Ixel.
And if you're not doing so already,
Does the same thing.
go check out Live and Let's Die.
Dunk. Pull up. Dunk. Pull up. Dunk. Pull up.
Dunk.
Dunk. Pull up.
Alright, so you're just
We'll just be
waterboarding the owl.
fungusons.
You're
I
waterboarding
am
the owl.
doing the age-old trip of getting people sober from being drunk. Struggles with Enforcer to prop him up so he can do it, and then looks at him, realizes it probably won't work, and then just starts slapping him.
Ting, ting, ting,
So-
ting, ting.
Ting, 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 ting.
Climbs down
Like, wake
from
up,
the rickety
wake
roof.
up.
Alright, so you go around everyone, dunking them in the water, slapping the metal man.
I feel like that's an
Good morning,
innuendo
guys.
somewhere.
Carries
You ready to go
barrel,
kick something?
sees Elvin, walks over to Elvin, puts down barrel,
You make
grabs
me wet, I
Elvin
will
before he...
shoot you in the face.
Why is everyone so
How,
angry?
do you want to be sober or do you want to be hungover?
You get me and my powder wet, we will have problems.
Oh no! Put your powder over to the side, and I can pull the water out
No,
of it.
thank
Remember?
you. I am sober. I am ready to go shoot this lich in the face.
Is he sober, or does he need to roll for it?
Here's a little hangover.
Don't mean I ain't good to go.
Josephus, are you alive?
He's a little hangover. But,
Insight
you know,
check.
he's saying that he's, so it's kind of up to you to believe him.
I have been dunked in water.
I'll believe him.
Where the fuck is
And remember,
Ribbit?
I pulled the water out of your clothes and all that stuff after I finished dunking you.
Yeah, well, the
Your
fuck
eyes
is
are
that?
very red.
Just
I didn't
be-
know they turned red.
Just because I'm dry doesn't mean I'm not wet inside.
Not wrong.
That sounded wrong.
So, Josephus, did you make any more headway about the adoption?
Josephus is gone. Oh, there you are, Ribbit. Wait, who the fuck gave you a tattoo? Oh, whatever.
Oh god,
Oh.
does Ribbit now canonically have a tattoo?
Yes.
What is it of?
It's I love Joe in a heart.
Where?
It's just like one of those mom tattoos with a heart, but it says Joe.
Yeah, like on the shoulder.
That's kind of nice. I like that. That's so nice.
Why is the sun so bright this morning?
It's bright like this every morning. You're just hungover.
Is this normal?
Very. You get used to it.
Why do people drink in excess?
Because now I'm not
Because
bright.
it's worth the
Stupid.
suffering in the long run.
It's almost eternally dusk. So it makes it
Enforcer,
so
I can
much
answer
funnier.
your question about drinking and why we do it. It's very simple. Do you remember why you started drinking last night?
Kind of sits there for a moment, stares at the ground. I think I was exasperated dealing with 3 Josephuses.
See, there you go. This is your problem. You're having a problem dealing with your hangover because you didn't drink enough.
I don't think that's
He's got a
how it
point.
works.
Because you did not drink to the point that you forgot
Wow.
why you were drinking.
Why would I do that?
Because then you understand why you're hungover, and it was to forget something very, very stupid.
I would have to drink enough to forget this entire adventure.
That can happen.
I don't like the sound of that. Good morning, Gropper.
Hey, old man!
Poke, poke.
You don't gotta poke him. That's just kind of rude.
Yep.
Good morning, Gropper.
Kind of hiccups a little bit and a piece of bone flies out. Morning.
Ah, I see you enjoyed the feast last night as well.
Flings his tongue out and brings it back in. It's pretty good.
We require transportation to kill a lich. We're assuming it's a lich.
Alright.
I love how you just always agree for this. You're a real upstanding gentleman and member of society.
It pays well.
So you thinking about expanding with all this business you've been getting lately? Bigger boat, maybe?
Think I might retire.
You know, that sounds nice too. You got someone to pass the business along to.
I got about 100 grandkids.
There
Holy
you go.
fauna.
I'm sure one of them could take over the family business, as it were.
Lon nods. Sounds about right for a frog.
Why is it everything that is normal for the rest of you is very disconcerting to me?
Why do you think there is anything? There's a construct such as normal.
Because we have societies with laws and rules and things that make sense. None of this makes sense. Can we please go to the Western Shore?
Yep.
The only thing that makes sense right now is the fact that something needs to die for the greater good.
I agree.
And that's multiplying the concern.
Well, I could
Find it
care less about the
disturbing
greater
that
good. I just
You
really
don't
want
find
to
what is normal for a
we must-
different race to be abnormal.
All the
in
great are
beginning.
good.
Alright.
And ka for the greater good.
You all hop in the boat. Grapple unties you, pushes you off with his pole, and you all begin traveling out to the
Hey,
west.
Gropper. You know, I'm intrigued now. While on this trip, why don't you tell us about your grandchildren? All of them.
Alright.
Oh no!
There's that enforcer.
There's Billy,
Lon casts Mind Sliver on
Billy Jr.,
Elvin.
Billy Jr. the first, Billy Jr.
the
the
save?
second, Billy Jr. the third.
Excuse me, are you saying yeah?
And then we
What
got
up?
Billy Jr. the second.
Oh, Billy.
And then we got Billy Jr. the 45th. And then we got Billy Jr. the 50th. And then we move on to the Jills. We got Jill 1, Jill 2, Jill 4, Jill 5. She's a nice Jill. Jill 7, and Jill 8. They got 2 heads. Jill
Wait,
9,
what?
Jill 20.
What?
Jill
What happened
54
to Billy
is a leg.
3?
Enforcer grabs Enforcer by the shoulder, well, by his head, on both sides of his head, looks at him and says, "Just tune it out. Just tune it out for your own sanity."
But what happened to Billy's 3 through 44?
And then halfway through, we kind of gave up on names and just kind of went with symphonics. We started calling half of them and the other half.
No,
This is
really.
great.
What
This
happened
is
to
all I
Billy's
can do.
3 through 44?
This is the best.
Just doesn't answer Enforcer the entire way there.
Billy 3 through 34.
Is this Elvin that's getting a kick out of this, or you getting a kick out of this?
Both, actually.
Both. Both is good.
This is good.
Extreme clerical concern. What happens to Billy's 3 through 44?
Not all the Billies live.
Is there a dropper,
Slop.
Junior?
Enforcer, pull yourself together!
I am entirely intact, and I feel that is part of the problem. The rest of you seem to be broken to some degree. I must fix! Just starts wandering around the boat, casting mending on everything.
Hey. Calm it down. Nobody's
That's nice.
broken.
Anyway, then we get to Drill 55.
He retreats into his shell to escape the insanity. He's like, I've had enough of this shit. I am going to my shell apartment.
The tragedy of Billy 22 just ruins Enforcer. He has to fix things.
It's all good, Enforcer. It's all good. Remember, his people breed by the thousands.
Just starts like trying to grab Elvon and cast mending on him. Just
I'm not broken!
You know, if his kind breeds by the 1,000, that means hundreds of his children have died.
I'm not broken, I'm
if anybody
adopted!
If anybody cares to look, they can look in the shell and they don't see him curled up in it, they see a frickin' like the inside of what looks like a inn tavern with him in a frickin' like sleeping robe with a frickin' pipe in his mouth, smoking and reading a book. He's just like, I had enough of this shit.
Enforcer just patting the shell, trying to cast mending on him.
He's like, you're fixing the holes in the roof. Thanks.
We're
Goes back to his smoking and reading.
We're not broken.
You think an extreme desire to kill for money is a natural part of your life?
It's not a desire, it's a recognition of talent and skill.
You need help, you need a hug, you need a therapist, you need a god!
You're out here killing with us.
I'm doing it for good reasons! You're a maniac!
I only do it for good reason, too.
Money is not a good reason!
For you.
I disagree, it's a very good reason.
You stay out of this!
And it's not like I purposely kill children.
Have you?
I'm gonna roll insight on that.
I have not killed any children, thank you very much.
Grappa kind of looks off the side of the boat. That frog kind of looks like they're 59. Keeps paddling.
Runs over to Excel, starts trying to cast mending on him.
Nonchalantly brings a cup of hot cider to his mouth, takes a sip, knocks some of the ashes out of his pipe, goes back to reading in his shell apartment.
I have not killed any children, nor would I. You couldn't pay me enough to purposely kill children.
So you do have some morals? How come those don't extend to everything else?
Because everything else wasn't children.
If I asked you to assassinate a priest who is saving the lives of several hundred children, would you kill him?
Yes.
Wait till you finish saving the lives of the children, then he'd be offed.
Why?
Because then he still got to save the children.
You could even make it really, like, poetic, where he goes and approaches the priest and is like, hey, I'm going to kill you.
Sacrifice himself to save a child. I just happened to the reason he was sacrificing.
No, so if, Elbin could approach him and be like, hey, I've been paid to assassinate you, but the priest would be like, no, don't do it yet. Give me 1 week to heal these children. And then he does it, and then he can die satisfied.
And a saint.
And a saint.
Pokes his head out of the shell apartment. Does the reason why they need to die have any effect on you, or will you just kill innocent people for money?
Elbin will.
It depends. I don't typically just kill random villagers and such if I'm hired. Typically it's someone.
Well, if somebody that didn't like the priest hired you to kill him, but he was a completely innocent, kind man, would you still do it? Even if the person that hired you was evil?
Depends on how much money it was. Because a priest is a pretty high target. Generally, they have reasons for them to be put away.
Goes back to trying to mend Elbon.
What? Sometimes there's
they're just evil, black-hearted son of a bitches that just want to see people die.
I don't work for them.
If they paid you enough, you would.
If I may be honest, I haven't really met that many good priests.
Josephus, come here. Josephus, come closer.
What? No.
Get over here.
Pushes with control water, pushes him closer.
Start trying to cast mending on the owl folk.
I'm not an object.
Money to kill people are generally the ones I'm hired to kill.
Stop trying to objectify me.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm trying to objectify everyone in this boat because you all need fucking help.
I am
wrong, Rexel.
We took a job to kill a dragon that had emotions and sentient thought. What difference is that between that and me shooting a politician now and then?
Not a point.
The dragon was actively trying to murder people. A politician is only corrupt by the way that they do things.
I would debate politicians are very much the same way.
I mean, they do murder by proxy, honestly.
And they're not even strong. It's like the most annoying thing.
Oh, well then, shall we just smite the entire world?
Yes.
At some point, probably.
That was a rhetorical question.
Listen,
the answer is
all
no.
fall short of the grace of the gods now and then.
You're the one who wants to make an army of evil warforges for your religion. Can I point that out?
They would not be evil.
They would literally all be evil people. They just don't remember it.
Pulls out hot cider in a mug out of his apartment, shell apartment, gives it to Exel.
Go take it and drink it.
Sips it quietly with Exel sitting next to Exel watching the show going on, not saying a word.
Josephus, you don't understand. If by that logic, then I should also be a hero from ages past because my creator wanted to resurrect them in order to give them an immortal body, and it failed miserably.
Yes.
See them, Exel and Zahn just simultaneously take a sip and blink.
I was just raised by an assassin. My morals are kind of iffy to begin with, I'll be honest, but that one was kind of weird.
Honestly, it's no excuse. I was created to be the resurrection of a hero that my creator adored. I was not that individual, and he kicked me out, and then I was on the street, and another person found me and brought me to the temple, and thus I have lived my entire life in a temple.
You were abandoned by your parents, too! You're just like us!
Adopted, too!
You're adopted!
No, it's not the same! It's not the same!
One of us! One of us!
Look, it's okay. Our parents didn't want us either.
Well, I don't know that. I was really little.
Well, mine didn't
need a hug. The two of you need gods. The two of you need gods. Preferably not the murder-happy ones.
Well,
Yeah, considering the pantheons that are out and about, you really should be specific. Lucky for you, I think all gods are not worth worship, so...
I would say I set up plenty of meetings with gods.
You very sharp technicalities. Very, very sharp technicalities.
And technically, if there's a god for death, by us killing, are we not doing a god's work?
Oh shit, you're starting to sound like another one of my friends.
Yes and no. There are certain rituals and preparations that have to be done to truly do such work.
How do you know?
I was an acolyte in a temple for 5 years.
Do you know every god?
I have some vague knowledge of most of them. Oh god, I know nothing.
Do you know what temples do when people try to tell their secrets? They hire me.
Are you whispering?
Forcer just lays down in the boat and stares at the sky quietly.
Hey Josephus, I think we broke him.
Zahn lightly pats him on the head. There.
Yeah, my husband seems more damaged than normal. It's okay.
Did you clarify that?
Clarify what?
That he is a he.
Hey, Enforcer, what's your pronouns?
Slowly tilts his head back to look at Josephus upside down. I technically do not have one, though I was modeled after a male individual.
Got it, he.
No, it's what they identify as. It's not what they are. Very different things.
Would it really change anything?
Well, it depends if I call you husband or bae. Or significant other.
Is my identity so inclined to be a part of my gender?
I mean, technically, it doesn't have to be. It's whatever you feel like.
I feel like a large hunk of walking iron are surrounding a case of wooden wooden endoskeleton.
Hell yeah.
So, dude.
That doesn't mean dude.
I don't know if I should clip that or not. I don't know if I should clip that to be inspirational or fucking not. I have no idea.
Also, I think it's approaching time for you, Shepard.
Is it?
You said 3 hours, right?
Technically it's not 3 hours until we hit 9:40.
It's
Okay,
approach.
just want to. I said approaching it.
Ah, then yes, you're correct.
If anything, if I get clipped for anything, and that's the thing I get clipped for, that's just the running joke from now on.
Feel like a metal suit surrounding a wooden skeleton.
I feel like a metal suit surrounding a wooden skeleton with a huge existential problem in life.
Well, aren't we just all technically flesh suits and blood bags?
Pretty much.
Yes.
No, there's a Warforged.
Fair.
Zahn pulls out a fourth wall newspaper and starts smacking fourth wall cat shepherd.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Just giant cat looms out of the horizon.
Just starts smacking him, fourth wall smacking him with a newspaper. Bad shepherd.
We are all skeletal mechas, coated in fat plates, piloted by our brains.
I will knock you off this table, don't you tempt me.
Okay, that's over.
Alright.
Continuing.
Yeah, now that we've broken Enforcer.
As
Just laying in the boat staring at the sky.
We've broken Enforcer. You and Josephus broken. Me and Exile have had no part of this.
Yes, we, as in me and Josephus.
I like how the monk just like drank nearly as much as Elbin and Josephus, but just monk fortitude. He's at peace.
Oh yeah.
No, I dunked him to sober him up as well.
He did. He's been meditating this entire time before all this broke out.
And drinking hot cider.
Yep.
Listen, Enforcer, we know it's a lot. But this is the real world, outside of that small temple you lived in.
I highly doubt everyone is as insane as the rest of you.
No, we are definitely not the status quo. We are.
I've been told
Excuse
I
me,
am a
Enforcer.
special case.
Yes, that.
Excuse me, Enforcer. I believe me and Exile are actually rather well adjusted for society.
Enforcer
Yes, I
turns
asked
his
him.
head towards Zon. Horde.
I have dragon heritage. Can't blame me for that.
Continues staring.
I mean, yeah, you
I
could
said
always ask them.
mostly.
They had parents.
Looks over at Exil. Exil, you too have dragon heritage, do you not?
He nods.
Horde.
He stares.
Turns back to Zon.
I have one quirk. Sue me. How many do Elbin and Josephus have?
Enforcer starts holding up his head and starts counting.
My point.
Currently,
One
from
quirk
what I have
does
been
not
able to
usually make.
currently from what I've been able to count is about 17 to 20.
I
My point
change
stands.
faces and shoot people in the dark when I'm invisible. That's not a lot of quirks.
For money, you have a horrible backstory apparently.
Was raised by an assassin. What else would I do for money?
I don't know, a job, anything that
What do you
doesn't
think
require them-
assassination is?
A crime.
A job.
Murder. For money.
And don't even get me started on that one. Points in the general direction of Josephus.
I am a well-adjusted individual, depending on your perspective.
Josephus, every time we mention anything, you make reference to the fact that you were abused as a child.
Yeah,
In
doesn't
regards to
everybody? It's called
Nature?
coping.
Yes. In regards to society? No.
It's called coping.
You need a hug. That's what you need. A hug and a god.
It's your obsession with giving people gods.
Because both of you seem to be faithless, and look how you've turned out.
The god has never loved me. Why should I do anything for them?
I do plenty for the gods.
Murder and sending their followers to them does not count.
Isn't that the goal of most clerics?
No.
But don't you want the souls to go to the gods faster?
No. They get there at their own time, based around the Great Wheel of Time.
And that Wheel of Time mandated that I pull the trigger.
Audible slurp.
Yeah, technically speaking, everything I'm doing is technically preordained in certain religions. So I am doing God's work despite what I'm doing.
You
I was
are
meant to
treading
kill the-
fine technicalities.
I was meant to kill all these people and monsters.
Are we there yet, Gropper?
Nope.
Shit.
When the chaotic neutrals poke fun at the lawful goods.
I'm neutral evil. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're borderline chaotic evil.
Borderline, but he has some rules he sticks by.
Like I would argue he's closer to lawful evil than chaotic evil.
He acts chaotic but has a strict code, so that makes him neutral.
Yeah, I can go with that. Yep.
Yep. Half of both.
I just, yeah.
I'd say you're probably chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I'm just kind of here. I do what I need to do to get by.
Haven't you ever wanted to do something else besides murdering everything?
Well, see, that's the
Just
great
no.
thing, because you don't really have to do a lot when you're good at what I do. So you can go off and do whatever you want.
Tom, you got any hobbies? Whittling, music,
Target
Hunting.
practice.
other than weapon-based stuff?
Hunting.
Drinking.
Are you good? Are you good painter
Yes, there
or
was a
anything like
raid.
that?
Live and let die raid of us tonight.
I'm going to leave that joke out there for you to understand. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
What about you, Exel?
He pulls out a flute.
I pull out some wooden figures I've carved from wood. That gives me an idea. I've never made a flute before. Pulls out a decently sized chunk of wood. Starts whittling it with his claws and a knife.
Forrester takes his holy symbol in both hands and starts chanting in Celestial.
Now, if I take a look at that real quick, just hold it a little bit closer so I can take a look at that flute, Exel.
He'll hand it to you.
Oh, well, I got my hands full. I'm just
then
I'm
he'll-
asking look for as a reference.
Yeah, then he'll just put it closer to you.
Okay, the net flares out there, and there's holes about spaced that much. Starts like making little divots in the wood for where the holes are gonna go. This will be interesting. I wonder how well it'll sound in the end.
Have you ever considered trying something that wasn't gunplay? Or knife play? Or mace play? Or any sort of weapon?
Well, there was I learned how to cook the things I killed. Because I learned how to do this by hunting, so I enjoy hunting. It's kind of fun pastime.
What do you do when you're sitting in the long hours during a hunt? Just sitting still.
I'm waiting.
See, with the cooking, that's a start. That's a start. I don't often do it myself, but I have dabbled in cooking as well.
Yeah, because when you shoot a deer, you kind of want to eat the deer.
An accurate assessment. But
Why else would you shoot the deer?
But did you know that cooking is also an art? You can experiment, try different things with it.
Really?
Yes.
As you are having this conversation, there was a loud thud, and the boat stopped suddenly. Several of you all knocked slightly forward, making you lose balance.
Hey, whoa, Robert, whoa, did we hit a sample? What is it?
Must have
Han
been
peers over the
loud.
front edge.
You peer over the edge.
What's my passive perception at 19 telling me?
Passive perception at 19 tells you you stopped in the middle of the water. Suddenly, you've hit something.
Great.
Since I'm looking over the front edge of the boat, do I see what it is, or do I need to stick my head underwater?
You peer over. Nothing immediately. The water is dark, murky, very difficult to see in.
I use control water to part the water a little bit to allow me to see what it was.
Alright.
Yes.
you begin to pop the water. And as you do, the water opens up, and you see this mucky bit of mud bank that it appears you have hit.
Just a mud bank. Hops out and starts pushing it out of the boat out of the mud bank.
Okay. You hop out into the water, and you just you begin pushing against the mud bank, and your hands go through the mud and touch something much harder than mud. And as you do so, the mud bank moves, and a massive claw grips the side of the boat.
Not a mud bank! Not a mud bank!
Not a mud bank!
Get ready for mud!
And you see this.
We're doing this again!
Oh yeah!
You see a massive, almost mutated looking crab covered in mud.
No.
I love it.
Wait, don't turtles eat crabs?
Some probably do.
Yes. So you want to try and eat this one?
Do not know the full extent of turtle diet, but I imagine
Crabs.
some
Dude,
would.
it's
Some
5
turtles do
minutes
eat
before-
crabs. I look at it, I go, ew, ugly. Still, possibly lunch.
Alright, so go ahead, snack a
Is it grappling me?
Not you, it's grabbed a hold of the boat. And we're
Am I
gonna-
grappling it?
No, you were just pushing it. So yeah, go ahead and snap yourselves grip. Yeah.
I would be right here-ish, right?
Yeah, because you would
Because I
just-
jumped out.
Yeah, you jumped out and you began to push on it. So yeah. Alrighty, so we roll initiative now. And as the...
And- Am I currently in the water as well?
yeah,
Or is the water
yeah,
part?
because you
still?
jumped out of the water. Jumped out. I believe it's only a 5-foot part. Right? Is that correct?
Yep.
Alright, so...
It's 5 cubic feet of water.
Yeah,
so
so it
however
would be 1
big,
cube.
however much I can manipulate that, yeah.
Yeah, it would only... Well, unless...
So
Since you parted it, I would kind of assume you did that 5-foot cube all the way down. Otherwise, parting the water wouldn't really let you see much.
I think I could do 2 instances of it at once, though.
Don't know about that. I know if you wanted to, you could like say, I want 5 feet straight down the middle to open up instead of 5 feet down. You could have done that. So if that's what you want to do, you could have, but you wouldn't have seen the crab because it was deeper than that. So I'm just kind of going with what would have let you see deepest, which would have been 5 feet straight down, split. Which would have allowed you to see the deepest, which is what you were going for. So with that in mind, you wouldn't be in that portion. So anyway, that happened.
Yes, you can spell multiple times. You can have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time. Okay, got it.
Okay.
So I can't have 2 instances at once at a time.
Something like that, yeah. Okay, roll. Alright, so, as the crab lunges out, grabs a hold of the side of the ship, side of the boat, you see the water around you begin to, be,
Pushed away.
no, fucking what's the word? Interrupted? No, I don't know. Displaced? No, that's not right. Disturbed. That's the word. And several foams begin to rise up And you see several humanoid creatures begin to rise up, their bodies rotting, flesh falling off.
Do zombies.
Wow, more
Ooh.
undead. It's almost like this is what this whole campaign has been about.
Signed up
Ooh,
for
we're
it.
going with the. It came from the lagoon look this time with zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that!
And
Wow.
of course, I roll shit initiative again. That's my lot in life to always roll
Almost-
shit initiative.
Everybody did. Even Elbin rolled a 10. He just has an incredible.
You're right, I do.
Yeah, he just has an incredible modifier. Alright, so, just for ease of use, I'm just putting all the zombies on one initiative roll. Just so you know,
Yeah.
for next time. And, I am going to end it here instead of going into combat, because we are now officially at 3 hours.
I love starting a session with combat.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's always fun. Save
I
your token, everybody.
Yep, so... Yep.
love that monster design.
It is
That's
really,
good.
really good. It's
The zombie crab is great.
Austin
Yeah.
Mangler, good artist, like that.
At least it's not as terrifying to look at
It's
as
good stuff.
or disturbing to look at as the freaking undead Hydra.
It's the Hydra.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing was a little bit. Ugh.
very disturbing. Very good.
I also love the Hydra.
This is session 9. So yeah, we've been going for 9 sessions.
Oh shit, this is session 9?
Yeah, next one is the
Yep.
last one.
We have some murder to do.
Yep, so
Yep, we can speed run the fight next week.
We're gonna be speedrunning next week.
speed run.
We had to have one full-on game of just RP.
Yep. So
I feel like we've had multiple of that.
you've had a few.
It's like every session I've had some sort of philosophical discussion with freaking Josephus.
Holy shit, I was laughing so hard, muted, when there was 3 Josephuses.
I was too.
Yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed.
I was dying.
It is always a pleasure running for y'all. I apologize. It
I don't apologize. You guys-
wasn't as normal, and I couldn't be as jubilant as I usually am with RP.
It's fine.
Happens.
So
Don't worry, I say we more than made up for it.
Mm.
First time Enforcer's ever been drunk in his life. He didn't even know he could get drunk.
Right?
But yeah, Shepard.
Now
Always
you
fun.
know. Now you know.
yeah, so cool. You've all disconnected. Great. Now I can save and get out. All right. So yep. And again, thank you all for playing, showing up. It's always a pleasure.
Have a good one.
And
Yep.
I'll see you all next time. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Oh,
Will do.
I will be busy all this week because I'm helping family. So
Handle family, that's important.
I may be late responding.
I just have a question for future campaigns. Is the Treasury of the Dragon book going to be added to the list of acceptable material?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's an official book, and I always allow official books. I just haven't read through it yet, so. So,
Good night.
no, good night, everyone.
Good night, man.
And I'll see you all next
Night
time.
night.
Why haven't they added a draconic druid?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm a little
Sounds
upset about it.
probably be OP as fuck.
It's weird.
The ranger got a dragon pet. I want to become a dragon.
I want to be the dragon.
I want to be the dragon. Anyways, yeah, good night, you two.
Good night.
Night.
Night. And good night to you all. Twitch, I hope you all enjoyed as well. Don't go anywhere because we're gonna drop a raid real quick. Let me just load all this up. And yeah, so tell me how you liked all the new stuff I added. You know, the little voice activated shepherd, the stingo transitions. I added a few things to try and make it all a little what's the word? Better, I suppose. I guess better is the right word. So yeah, so how did you like that? Did it look good? Did it look nice? It might have been a little janky because internet is iffy and all that good stuff, but you know. Let's see here. I think we're gonna drop by at that stream polish. Yeah, slowly but surely. Let's see. Most games in the Umbra setting, they are in 10 sessions. Yeah, so far not the majority. All of the games, except for maybe a few minor exceptions. Well, not minor exceptions. The games are minor, but a few exceptions. Might have been the original 3 I ran. I believe they might have went more for 10 than 10, maybe a little bit less. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So most of my sessions go for, most of my games go for 10 sessions. That's kind of what I set up. As the expected amount of games. But all the players just range from different experience levels. Some are newer, some are been around for quite a while. But yeah, that's how long my sessions usually run and who all is in them. But I'm going to send you by Madia Pop. She's just playing some Valorant. She is 18 plus and all that. I am as well. So there's that. So I'm gonna send you there, and you know, go show her some support. And I will see you all next time. I won't be doing my usual Wednesday and Thursday streams, just because it would be too difficult. But I would be doing Friday stream. That's actually a lie. I will be doing a Thursday stream, just not my usual stream. I'll be doing a Thursday stream for our new game that will be I'll be running on Thursdays. It'll be the debut of that game. And it is at 7 o'clock, I believe. I have to double check. You'll see in the schedule if I fix that. When I fix that. If I have time to fix it, probably won't. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll get notified. And if you're in the Discord, you'll be notified. So yeah, so that's that. So I will be streaming Thursday with a new group. And on Friday. Okay, and I'm now going to send you to Media. So go show her some support. And I will see you all next time. Still salty about that game. You know, what can you do?